Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Crastinators podcast. I'm the best guy ever, and I'm about $20,000 richer off of this Kickstarter. I'm taking the money and running, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Oh,
This episode of
right.
the Procrastinator is brought to you by Mike Bloomberg for President 2020, depositing $20,000 directly into our Kickstarter account, and now we're bought
Bill.
and paid for, baby. Mike, he's the cool candidate.
Bill, Mike, love that guy. Did you hear as well? What's up?
This message is sponsored by Pete Buttigieg's dog, who he role plays as on Twitter.
What?
Yeah?
It's true. Much like Spoonie,
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg also has dog roleplay accounts on Twitter where he roleplays his own dog.
Well, I'm going to have to look into that. I mean, the joke about Pete is that he strangles dogs in the street.
Oh, no.
So I don't know if
This
that's
was the
like a
one
deliberate
surviving
attempt to
dog.
get ahead of that messaging.
He role plays the dog being into it. That's what he does.
You know, every day he strangles dog after dog, but one day there was a dog whose neck was so strong he just couldn't wring it, and he thought, you know what, this
I
one
respect this
comes
one.
with me. Yes, that's right. Hey guys, in case you haven't seen it, of course, you should definitely go check out the now concluded RadCon 4 Paradise Kickstarter page. Obviously, it was a success as of several weeks ago. When you hear this, it'll be closed. For us, we've got like 2 days left, and we are right on the cusp of 20,000 as we speak.
Incredible.
We are almost there with about 40 hours to go, 45.
That's right, and I'm talking like $150 to get there, give or take. So it's looking good. It's looking good. Oh well. Here we are.
Hot fuck. Holy.
I mean, when we started, so man, it's funny to look back on it. When we started, there was all this debate and wringing of teeth and gnashing of nails about how much to charge.
Things.
And I mean, you know, it was all understandable that we not try to overcharge people based on like how much we earned last time.
We undercharged them.
As a matter of business, we 100% undercharged because we just lost money on the whole operation.
Wait.
This time, praise God.
Oh, the first
we
time?
Will not.
No. Listen.
Yeah.
We lesson learned again. You can never gouge hard
And
enough.
we have just oh my God, I just saw the tally on the Kickstarter tick up. Let me refresh what the fuck? It went over 20,000 and then it dipped back down. I think someone pledged and then immediately unpledged. Oh wait, no, there it goes. Boom, there it goes. It's going back over 20,000.
We're all gonna die.
I'm seeing 19,831
Refresh.
for me. I did.
Refresh the damn page.
Okay, I got it.
This is
I'm
weird.
gonna die. Oh no, help. Oh please.
I'm seeing the page go above it. No, okay, it keeps like cycling over.
Okay,
20,000.
well, I have
Someone
no
must have
doubt it will make over 20K.
Wait, 20. It says 20K for me.
I just want to
There
see
you
the
go.
number. I just want to see the number.
$20,081.77.
I'm gonna put a link in the show notes.
me,
so people
it
can
says
share this
19.
Okay,
on
now I'm seeing 20,000. It updated actually without me having to reload the page.
For me,
Yeah,
it says
it seems to be there.
19,831.
It'll do it in a second.
I'm seeing 20,081.
Give it a minute.
My internet is being shit today.
Well, that means I'm writing chapter 5, I guess.
Chapter 5
shit.
and we got
a
to
physical
fucking
release.
print that shit.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
we'll figure
let's
it
talk
out.
about that. Ben,
20,801.
Oh, 081 actually, but close enough.
Ben,
Okay.
you've done some physical printings of comics before.
Yeah.
How has that gone for you?
Pretty easy. Yeah. Well, actually, I've been thinking about this. Yeah, I printed Vapors 1 and Vapors 2. It was pretty easy. I used a website or a printing service called Kablam with a dash between Ka and Blam. I mean, yeah, you just like save you get like high-res image files. Okay, this service was for like comic printing. There would probably be cheaper ways to print like a text thing. I imagine like printing
I hear
like
that
text,
Amazon
like,
publishing.
Yeah, people say Amazon Publishing is good for that. So you didn't even have to submit like a PDF, but just actually image files, and they like.
I mean, they wanted me to save them as this, like a TNG file or something. Like whatever, it was
Next
easy.
Generation Star Trek.
I don't think that it was something. It was some weird format. But yeah, they were just like save all your files in high resolution as this file. Like send them to us in a zip file, and we'll send you the fucking thing when it's ready. Which can't wait to do that again for Vapors 2, once all my guest artists get their pages in, hint, 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 if you are listening.
I was planning to use the same website to print my book just because there's going to be a bunch of there's manga pages in my book, and they have the option on that website to get the book manga sized as a paperback. Like, you can get it
like a
looking
little
like an
book.
actual
That sounds
manga.
nice.
So yeah, I think that would be sick.
You know, I don't know. I got recommended that service by another comic maker. You might want to maybe ask around other like book writers about whether it's the cheapest way to go about printing.
I've heard that the
novel.
Amazon service is good for printing, so I don't know. I'd have to look into that as well. But if
Call up our old
I
friend
might look
Monkey.
into that.
Ask him what that experience was like.
well, he used Lulu. He didn't use.
He did. Oh, okay.
I was fucking around the other night. I was feeling like probably in the wake of like the New Hampshire primaries or something. I was too emotionally drained. I had gone through too much turmoil and I couldn't think anymore. So I was like, man, I gotta do some shit. I gotta do some work, but I can't think. So I was like, I'll do some thoughtless work and I'll just, for no particular reason at all, like just because maybe, I'll just take Slime and Punishment and arrange it into pages as though it were to be printed in a book or something at some future date. And I'll just do that. I don't know why. I don't know. Just fucking around. So I was doing that. And then I was looking around for like printers. Because Kablam will not... I was thinking if it were going to be printed, it would be in like... I was imagining it like the Homestuck book. You know, basically landscape style, like 4 panels like that. But Kablam won't print in landscape. It only does formats that are... portrait or arrangement. So I was like, fuck. So I briefly started looking around for like alternatives and I didn't find anything, but I'm sure there's more. Maybe I should look at Amazon for, I don't know. Because the thing about Slime and Punishment is that it's like full color, and like if there were like any limitations on color in the physical printing, it would look like complete shit. Right?
Yeah,
because it's got so
There's
many
a lot
like
of good colors in there.
fully saturated like crushed colors and stuff. So they must be robust. Anyway,
excellent.
I don't know. That's I'll look at it. I'll take a look at Amazon. Might be worth it. Fucking Kablam. Fucking Kablam will only print comics that look like comic books or manga. It will do. Like, because Slime and Punishment printed physically would be like well over 100 pages, and if you get over 64 pages, it won't print it as a comic. It has to print it as a like a quote unquote paperback, and I guess that means it has a spine and everything. But it still won't change the.
Ben, got him.
It still won't landscape. I need it landscape. I don't want to print it vertically. That's dumb. It was published on Twitter in a 4 image, an update layout. I want to preserve that. That's important.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was wondering about the whole like amount of pages, because the Vapors chapters have only been 20
pages.
Vapors 1 was 40
the Lord
something.
of Ghosts comic. I was thinking of making a thing as well. Chapter 3 is out, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chapter 3. Link in the description.
It just came out, right?
Came out
minutes ago.
As soon as I entered the call.
Minutes ago for us.
For us,
right?
Yeah. It's been out since
eternity.
Sunday for you listening, folks.
Yeah, but the final thing will be about 100 pages almost. So I'm thinking, would that be a problem? But I guess not. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way to do it.
Guys, we got to talk about this because I'm here with the two of you, Ben and Gibbon, who draw comics, and that's all I've been doing for the last couple weeks. Yeah, and it's pretty great. Drawing comics is better than drawing regular illustrations. IMO.
You think so? How do you figure?
Let me put it to you like this. In a similar sense that I think that the more complex a medium is, at the same time, there are more ways that you can fail, but also the failures are kind of muted by the successes of other areas.
I saw a great tweet yesterday And I was like, yes, I am living for this tweet. So relatable. It said, drawing comics is about accepting your ugly panels and moving on. And I was like, that's so true.
I have a new catchphrase, and this is kind of going to be the overall like linchpin arc words of the book Kusomega.
Sure.
Which is, it's not about being clever, it's about pushing forward.
Yeah.
And it in so many ways, basically.
AKA, please excuse my bad project, but I had to make something, so here it is.
Well,
anything finished, it's like Brian Lee O'Malley said, anything,
you're right.
Anything finished is automatically better than anything unfinished. Whatever,
Very true.
Whatever it takes to get it done.
The perfect is the enemy of the good. I completely agree.
Sort of the arc that the character goes through in the story is that like he had killed himself because of the fact that he was writing nothing but bullshit for so long and never got around to writing his like ideas for stuff that would be like really great works of literature because he didn't think he was good enough to actually write them. And so he just didn't. And then ultimately ends up killing himself. And when he reflects on it, he's like, well, even if those stories hadn't come out the way I wanted, it would have been better to try than to kill myself,
Indeed.
Since it puts him into this situation and all.
But Digi, don't you know that being born is inherently abuse? Our parents didn't get our consent to be born and to have to carry these burdens in this world.
The thing is, Nate, that I think the character possibly could have made that argument if not for the fact that killing himself just didn't bring him any release at all. It simply trapped him in a narrative of having.
I would argue it would for us, though. It would bring us relief, ladies and gentlemen.
We don't know that, though. You don't know if he'll get isekai'd.
That's true.
That's the mistake that he made.
You never see it coming.
So with regards to the comics, like more so than just like bad panels being held up by good ones, but even just when we think about One Punch Man, right? The original release, the strength of it was not just that it had a great concept, which is already the biggest strength of One Punch Man, but also that one sincerely has great compositions in his imagery. They're just not well drawn, And so like I kind of looked at it like as long as I can communicate the story through the facial expressions and poses to a degree where you understand what this is supposed to look like, then it kind of can carry
itself.
That's
it. You've got it. You've got
you
it.
activate the imagination.
It's just about like especially with Slime and Punishment. I mean, in particular with Slime and Punishment, it's just about get a page done, and done means it conveys the thing I want it to convey.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's done.
I mean, it's funny because I'm already used to doing that in other forms of art, so it kind of comes naturally to me to transition that mode of thinking into comics. I just had never really tried it before. But because of the fact that I'm doing this physical release of Kusomega, and I decided to hire a bunch of artists to work on it, and I storyboarded all the comics that are going to be in it. So I did 18 pages of comics and then another 12 for...
Did you ever giggle to yourself thinking like, I'm just like that guy from Bakuman, the one who...
Yes.
The writer.
Exactly.
Nice. That's what I would do.
Well, and that was
you mean the blonde guy?
The glasses guy, yeah, that guy.
I mean the author himself, because like in Bakuman, they sometimes will show the storyboards that Tsugumi Oba does for Bakuman. And then show Takeshi Obata's redone storyboards where he he redraws it and makes it more dynamic and like changes the structure of all the boxes before he goes in and draws it, which is exactly what some of these artists did who are working on, like some of my comics, they took it and really readapted it into something very different. Whereas there's one guy who is the one who kind of gave me the idea to do this project, who really just wants to draw comics written by me. Like that was his goal. He was like, I will just... he didn't even want payment. He was just like, I just want to draw comics you write, right? Based on this story. So I've got him doing like a 12-page comic.
Kind of fuck that guy a little bit. Artists,
for bringing down everyone else's potential earning potential by
a little bit of a scab, a little bit of a picket line crosser.
They need a union.
No, I for what it's worth, I'm not having him do anything for free. I told him
there you
I
go.
would not accept that.
Yeah.
But unless it was for no profit, but this particular project is.
Fight for the clout, everybody. Fight over that clout.
If nobody's making any money, then sure.
But it's fascinating because he has been adapting my storyboards like almost exactly to where it's basically just the same images, but with that level of detail that I am just not capable of, you know?
If that's what you want, then
But
yeah.
his take is, it's funny, it's not exactly what I want the most because I don't think my storyboards are necessarily amazing. So if they can be improved, then by all means go for it, you know, which a lot of the other artists have done. But it's good in a sense that I can say, okay, well, like this will let me see exactly what this would look like fully realized, and then I can truly understand like what am I doing right and wrong in my storyboarding. You know,
this is a fascinating point because not to be an asshole to that guy, but it sounds like he might be the kind of guy who's such a big fan of yours that he might be afraid to tweak anything that you put, and so he wants to just stick to it. Whereas if you have somebody who, let's say, like you just reach out to like a true pro and you pay him $1 million, and they're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'll adapt your ideas. Then they'll add some of their own expertise and artistic flair.
I mean, for what it's
kinda,
worth, I don't want to downplay how much he adds to it just because the quality of my drawing is so low that the fact that he can extrapolate it into something that looks correct is like, oh, wow, this is what you would need to add. Like, it's significantly different, you know, in spite of the fact of being the same pose-wise.
You posted some of these redrawn stuff on Twitter, right?
I posted the 2-page comic that he did.
Link that. Link that.
That's
I don't remember
his?
seeing it.
I thought that looked pretty good.
The Crom and Bila one.
The one with, yes. Yeah, I saw that. It looks good. It looks real good.
I agree. That's why I'm excited about this project.
It's pretty.
But yeah,
cool,
I'll link you. I will post in the gross audio links the original storyboards as well, so you can compare them.
Oh, this one. Oh yeah, this does. This is excellent.
No, that's solid. Solid.
By the
work,
way,
man.
The thing I like about the comic
good vibrations
good work.
With numbers for letters.
This link is to the storyboards. These are publicly available, so it's no big.
The thing I like about the drawing of comics, and it is kind of like a storyboard for animation a lot of the time, where you can imply a lot of movement by just having the same thing shot like a few seconds, you know, after like what it looks like. You're basically doing keyframes, but really like with no in betweens whatsoever, and then that way you can convey so much more movement than. Well, I mean, traditional illustration, just one image, has always just felt like there's not enough going on because nothing can happen. It's a still moment in time. It's a photograph.
I mean, I wrote a piece on this before, but I actually had a website for Kuso Mega that got taken down today because it exceeded its bandwidth limit from fucking
hey, that's kind of a compliment.
Node or whatever the fuck. They give you a very low bandwidth limit. That or it was taken down because it had adult content on it. I'm not sure which because they didn't tell me anything and it's just gone. So I might have to build a whole new website, which is really annoying because there's a lot of content on. Like I literally wrote a fucking massive thing that I only posted there and do not have backup of. So let's hope I get that back. But in there, I was talking about how like part of what inspired all these comics and illustrations is that in the book, these two characters, Crom and Bila, do not get really described in all that much detail. They're like briefly touched on. Bila is not described enough that you could even draw a picture of her. Like she didn't get any fan art. And like, so I was thinking just, you know, what is like the maximum amount I can convey about these characters with images in the span of a couple pages? And it's like, even just seeing the range of facial expressions that a character would make, like even just seeing like 3 of them tells you so much about the character just because it's you only would imagine them making so many faces. And like, so in this comic, you've got, you know, Bila's got the really intense, like she's having a ton of fun casting magic, almost like sadistic in the first page, and then this more relaxed, you know, on the second page, whereas her dad has mostly looks kind of serious. And in the book, he never jokes about anything, but because I have a comic, I can do a thought bubble on him and give him like kind of a snarky thing to say. And, you know, the last face is like this really expressive anime face. It really only makes sense visually. I don't know how I would describe it, you know, in text.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know that face well.
That just being able to add that in and give you that mental image, like going back to read the story will change your impression of the story. Like now you have these anime characters in your mind and this range of expressions they're capable of. So when I describe the expressions that these characters are showing, you are more likely to think about other anime you've seen with characters who look kind of similar and like kind of just plug in those expressions. And I think that's why light novels exist, basically. That's my theory.
The theory is to make quick cash with one good picture of an anime girl. But
is
you're
there
right.
even any other mediums where speech bubble or thought bubbles can even be a thing that isn't weird?
Anime does it, but it is weird.
But they speak sort of like in their head, and because it's motion and it's movement, if like somebody's thinking something, the amount of time it takes for them to say the words that they're thinking is a lot longer than it would actually take to think those thoughts. So there's a disconnect.
Maybe this is just because of the fact that I do this kind of analysis and I'm always thinking about these things. But like what brings I feel like I'm fucking like trying to say like, oh, I just started making comics and they're already good. But like the theory behind what I'm approaching these comics with is like, what can I do in comics that I couldn't do in writing and couldn't do in these other mediums? Like, because that's what excites me the most about the idea of making them is like, oh, this is a whole different angle. Like these are stories that, like this story in text is not interesting in any way, but as a visual guide to the characters, there's a fun snappiness to it, and like
Sure.
So it's like it got me really excited because after drawing all these comics, none of which I planned at all. I did not write anything. I just started drawing and let it sort of, develop. And it was so much fun I couldn't stop, and now it's a problem because
you should just stop the whole YouTube thing. Be like a creator boy, like me and Ben. Make comics.
Implying
make
that YouTube
forever.
is not creation in any way. I mean, okay, for many people it's not, but okay.
It's literally the dumbest thing you could ever do.
That's not true. Frank Yang is an artist who makes weird fitness/art piece videos that are about like the perfect sprinter, Tom Cruise.
Is that
how I
Yang's
will
brother?
Obtain. It's Andrew Yang's younger, more muscly brother. Definitely, yeah. By the way, let me just say, fuck comics. All trash, put them into the garbage, and thank God that on today's episode we have an announcement of a happy time from a guy who has abandoned comics for all time and become an exclusive video man, one Munchie Shatsky, who has destroyed Investigator and is releasing today, the day we are recording this, 3 new episodes of Stealing Your Dad have just
I can't
dropped.
believe it.
They're all out
not all
right
dropped.
now.
No, they're not.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
They are
They're
at the time of
scheduled.
you listening to this, but they are coming out every 3 hours over the course of the whole day. Episode 1 is out though.
Are they
Or
on
episode
are they
8,
on
9,
his-
and 10.
Are they on
Yeah,
his
so 8's
channel?
Yes, they're on.
Yeah,
his
that's right,
channel.
on Munchie, on his channel.
shit.
So I just linked his channel. We'll put it in the show notes.
To
They're,
clarify,
they're gonna be
because
there.
nobody actually has any idea what Stealing Your Dad's is.
No, they don't. I was
So-
on it and I still don't.
Let me explain. So,
Yeah.
Stealing Your Dad's is originally a podcast that me and Munchie were doing, in which we review fast food by both of us going and getting the same fast food, because obviously fast food exists all around the country. We would buy the same fast food and then record a podcast of us eating and reviewing it, but also because we were describing the setting of the world that we were in, which is extremely. We would say it's basically the prototype of the world in Rowdy
Endless
Fuckers
War.
Cop Killers. Yeah, Endless
yeah,
War.
There is theorized that they are located in the same along the same timeline.
They are
but nobody,
similar enough
nobody
Fallout-esque super apocalypses that they could feasibly exist in the same universe. But
They're both highly
basically-
fast food based.
Yeah. The thing about the show, though, is that for the most part, it was highly experimental. The audio quality is not good.
It is
And-
experimental audio quality.
Experimenting. What if the experiment is? What if I turned it down?
What if I made it worse? Yeah.
So, like, most of these only have a couple hundred views. I don't know that there was any expectation from any audience that this would continue or that they wanted it in any way.
Well,
But,
clearly
like,
there was a small but dedicated audience.
Well, because the thing is that we
kept
recorded
Munchies Ghost in
about
the
it.
Shell. You
the
know,
three that we
is,
recorded at RadCon were videos, live action videos, which were meant to be fully edited by Ethan, I think, who also edited the Spicy Bro Pact video. Which there's also a Spicy Bro Pact from RadCon 3 that also has still not come out. But the one from RadCon 2 took a whole year, so that's not a surprise. But, like, yeah, these three have just been waiting in limbo for the last fucking literally nearly 2 years since we fucking...
That's right.
Right? Is that how long it's... Wait, when did we do
RadCon 3? It took T-Bap
No.
Resurrection 1 full year to get done, and it's been over a year since that.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was gonna say these were the last rad content, but no, I guess that Spicy Bro Pact is still.
Oh wait, technically it was in March, so it's technically been just under 2 years. That's the time frame.
Yeah, sure.
Which, by the way, the original Spicy Bro Pact video was like one of my favorite videos. It was fucking just legendary.
It was sick.
And so that's
The
why
new
I've
one,
been.
I mean,
That's the reason. Like my excitement over Stealing Your Dad's has. I mean, I'm looking at people have screen capped some incredible moments from the first episode in my Discord.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of them. Obviously, they just came out like minutes ago.
Somehow. But
They're
You know,
on-
we need
they're
to
on
call this
Munchie's-
episode.
they're on
We
Munchie's
need to
channel,
call this
right?
episode "We Did It." Munchie did it. Gib did it. Ben did it. Digi did. Nate did it. The Radcon's a huge success. We
that's
did
the
it.
same
They're
one I was
on
going.
Munchie's channel, right?
Yeah, they are. They're all there.
Okay.
Ew, gross. Why is that happening? How unfortunate. Let me bathe you in my milk.
That might have to be
says
my new
Munchie.
avatar on Twitter or something.
That's pretty good. Ew, it's so gross. Oh, I don't like that
It's
at all.
a Wendy's ice cream
no.
that he's eating off my head.
Wait. Are you? Is it, okay.
It's in Gross Disgusting. He posted
Oh,
this.
gross
okay.
disgusting is right.
Ugh.
So true. So true. Click the link, everybody. You know
God,
what
I'm
saying.
so glad
Link
those
in the
videos are
doobly
out.
doo.
We did it.
God,
There it is.
you
Well,
folks-
they did it. We did nothing.
We
Nah.
attended.
No.
We were in the vicinity.
We were on the right side of
shit.
history. Oh, they're
You know, the only
premiering.
issue I have, or the one thing I'm concerned about with Radcon, not really, but I just want to. We've got a bunch of stuff we got to do. I want to leave those precious spaces in between things to do whatever the fuck we feel like, you know. So maybe we can just smash everything out really fast and then just do whatever we want for like the last bit of time. And I'm sorry, and then I saw on Twitter. The thing, I saw one individual whose name I forget say the thing that gets tossed around here and there, and this guy is just like, y'all nibbas really paid these guys $20,000 to go on vacation, which is
Yes.
hilarious.
Damn.
Which is a hilarious thing to say, but
Yeah,
there's a
and
reward.
entirely true. Hell
100%
yeah.
true. That's definitely a major component of the story. But hey, voluntary exchanges of currency for products and services. Good stuff. Good stuff. Very excited. We've got like 3 weeks until we're out there doing shit. When you hear this, it'll be like 2 weeks. So incredible. What a world. By the way, this is episode 199. Next episode
God.
is 200. That's right. So I don't know what that means, but it means
Oh
something.
yeah, shall we talk about our plan to like do episode 200 at Radcon 4 regardless and just skip
Just skip it.
skip it for the meantime, just do it when we're there.
We could role play for the next 2 episodes from the post-apocalypse episode. Like it's a flash forward in the narrative.
The
before-
post-apocalypse
after the
where
world ends.
the number 200 doesn't exist, and we have to skip to 201.
We have to
instead.
find it.
We're recording them from the future after, like, just here's a thought. We record next episode 201. It's us. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. But it's us responding to the reaction to Radcon 3 from the future narratively and the cataclysmic failure that it was and how everything went wrong and we lost all the money. Et cetera, et cetera. It was all embezzled by what's that company that stole all of Hussey's money when he was trying to make that game? We partnered with
the
them.
King's
the
Quest.
tall
Brad
gentleman.
Garlinghouse.
No, the something
Gentleman.
the odd gentleman.
The Odd Gentleman. Yeah, we partnered with them for merch distribution, and that turned out to be a bad idea. But we're rolling with the punches.
We gotta ask Daddy Mike Bloomberg for some more funding. We gotta
That's
go
where we
dip
get
back
it.
into that well.
Speaking of corporate investment, I was looking at a couple of the after our stunning success with the Garlinghouse Industries people. We still don't have our channel back, by the way. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Hopefully that'll be fixed soon. They seem to
It would be
Hopefully,
really
yeah.
nice. It would be
would.
really nice if we had it back, which it seems Well, YouTube said
it seems we're on the cusp.
YouTube said we were on the cusp of getting it back. They seemed to be preparing to give it back to us.
They're just edging.
They're edging us, for sure.
It would be really nice if we could have it back by the time that the Kickstarter ends, because we're going to do that, like, on the day it ends, we're going to, like, stream for a few hours beforehand.
That's correct.
count down the hours, probably, like, shout out, like, big donos and stuff.
Let me just say, for fun, that, like, the last message of substance I got on, like, the PCP account was them saying, like, hey bro, like, we're working on your thing. We are going to move your account to, like, a new brand account. So, like, they seem to have identified the problem. They're like, make a new brand account, which is just, like, a new type of YouTube channel. We will, like, move the PCP onto the account. Give us the link, bro. I'm like, instantly, okay, provide them the link. And then I'm also like, hey, also, should I make more for, like, the other channels? They have that, and they just have not fixed the problem. And it's been, like, 4 days. I don't know why. Maybe because the weekend is happening now. But they have everything they need to restore the channel and seem to be waiting and willing to do so instantly. They just have not, let alone any other channels.
God, this makes me really depressed about the potential, about the future of the other channels, like the Podcast and TBAP. And
a little bit, yeah,
like the fact that they are so lazy about it. Like, I mean, I guess TBAP and Podcast have, like, I mean, Best Guy Ever is obviously the biggest channel. The other ones are all in, like, the
mostly fixed.
How many subs did the Podcast have?
Like 5,000, 6,000, something like that. So not a high priority thing for them, I'm sure.
So in theory, I think the PCP should be next, and then TBAP's got like 13K, so that should be next, right? I'm glad that, to my knowledge, nobody's been, like, uploading shit or fucking around with that one, other than changing the description to some weird cryptic Russian shit. I would feel so violated if the stuff that was going on these other channels were happening on TBAP. I would be sick.
Well, now's a great time to mention what is happening right now on Content, which is legitimately fascinating. As Digi pointed out on Twitter, and I had also noticed that on Content right now, I'll link you guys to the channel down below. We do not have control. The last 3 videos now, what they are re-edits of me and Digi's old Aramanga Sensei podcast.
Are they
That's correct, Gib. They have specifically re-edited the full content and made new thumbnails and new titles for them. We have never given them. Someone's working on this shit.
What's crazy
actively.
is they're doing a good job.
It's not a bad job. Yeah. Better than us.
They took the episodes. I think what they did is they downloaded the ones that are on After Dark because they're uploaded as individual episodes with the images. They use the same images that were in the After Dark uploads, but then they add, like, an episode 1, like, big splash on it, and then the thumbnails they cut together 3 different screen caps from the episode, it seems like, and bleed them together, and, like,
which is like your style of editing on Content now.
I mean, it looks like shit the way they do it, but it also is good. Like, I look at it and I go, that looks like shit, but I bet everybody would click on that. Like, it's like a Misty
thing that I would never do,
you know?
But I'm aware that people who watch the video won't give a shit and will click on it anyway. They're doing a better job than I'm, because they're more cutthroat.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Well, and
capitalist
the titles
monsters.
and descriptions and everything are like
they
use
the
actual titles of the episodes, which in what they're probably trying to do, and this might work, is so. One of the problems we've had on the PCP channel and on Digibro is the Ghibli cast has a shit ton of views, but it's because somebody has taken them and plugged them in on some like Watch Cartoon Online website as the movies. Because they're about the same length. They have the titles of the movie and the date, the year, which I think is really what makes them think it's real. And so all of them have like 60% dislikes and just tons of angry comments that it's not the movie. Which is annoying and probably not good, healthy for the video. But I wonder if that's what they're going for. It also happened to 60 Minutes. Every episode had the same problem.
It's too bad. That's too bad. I'm really excited, guys, because let me see. Tonight at 7 p.m., I'm really excited because Aramanga Sensei Anime Discussed Season 1, Episode 4 premieres on the Content channel. I'm really excited to watch that and see what these guys have to say.
By the way,
about
these all have like hundreds of views.
What are they doing?
Yeah, they've
in
got
the
thousands
video,
of views.
Like edit-wise, are they just like cutting bits or moving things around?
They just loop a GIF like over the video mostly, and just
no,
let our audio play.
Looking at the first episode, it's just the exact same one image that I had. Oh wait, episode 2, yeah, they do loop a GIF the whole time.
Yeah, in 2 and 3,
that's even more
looping.
advanced. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Is it
someone? This
what's
was an
more advanced than what I
intelligent
did?
work.
What's the likelihood
literally
that
improved it.
somebody
I know.
like on whatever black market? This is what I was thinking. Like the black market of YouTube sites where you could just buy free subs. You can buy
these
YouTube channels
were
from
for
Russian
sale on.
hackers.
Yeah.
Like somebody who knows who Content or Digibro or Nate is.
Yeah.
Was on this site and would be like, "What content? Yeah, I'll buy it."
Did we?
And they know
Did you
because
mention
they
the
know a
original
little bit
title?
about something.
Did you mention the original title that it was premiered with?
What was?
That was
when the first re-upload went up and premiered, it was called It's Da Content, right?
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, that's because that's the default title on the channel, so that's not. That's like
okay.
they just hadn't fixed it yet. Yeah.
That makes a little more sense
it's
and is slightly less creepy.
It's weird. Like, I don't know why. Why would anyone use a channel like that? I guess they just hope for revenue or
this
something.
channel. Yeah, this channel has been moved to some thieves' Google account, and they are now earning all the ad revenue generated by all videos on the channel.
I just wonder if it's like some like troll who knows like what they have.
Someone knows something about how this works.
Or whether it just so happens to be someone who knows a little bit about anime YouTube videos enough to, edit and re-upload the same thing.
If they know about anime YouTube videos, they must know who Digibro is.
Very likely.
It's all very curious, and I don't understand.
I gotta say, my favorite thing about this is that the thumbnails themselves, they like made thumbnails, they added more images. I gotta say, they're doing a good job with the thumbnails. They are shitty, but they're clickable shitty.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing...
Shout out to Brad Garlinghouse.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. He's a cutthroat businessman. I've got a lot to learn.
Really,
I'm learning a lot here.
Here's what I want to know, because again, these re-uploads are getting pretty good views
for our channel. Not bad.
Probably a lot of it's curiosity clicks, just like what the fuck. Maybe some people sincerely haven't listened to it and are listening to it for the first time. I want to know what the sub count looks like, because they hide that shit when they take over your channel. It's so annoying.
We might be gaining.
I want to know if we're
this
gaining subs. It would be so fucking funny.
That would be fascinating. I mean, this is like a new channel with you and me, so like there's definitely growing going on in general.
But I mean,
like,
this
my
is
favorite.
The upload rate is basically like every half a day they're posting another episode. It is our content.
It is.
It's good content. They're marketing it well. I just don't know if this would even cost us any subscribers. Like,
the only thing it's costing us right now, I mean, okay, if we never get the channel back, that's bad.
Yeah,
if we get it back even now, we'll have lost some ad revenue. But like, if we gain some subs, I mean, hey, I'll call that one a wash, I guess. A month of ad revenue
we weren't
lost.
posting videos on the channel, so if any,
I mean, we were gonna post the Pat Labor video on there. That's
I'm saying we can't post anything there right now, so at least they're
so they're
for
helping
us. Yeah.
Right.
They're keeping the algorithm happy.
My favorite thing is that they've kept the content logo like editing scheme for thumbnails that we were doing, the KH, but because no one except you and I has access to the content logo without the background, they've shittily cropped out the edges from like our channel logo and like slapped, but like you can see that like a lower intelligent or like a lower editing skill level is making these, but this is absolutely fascinating what's going on in this channel. Please give it back though, YouTube. I'm dying here.
We are up to
just when we got the channel up and running and actually making some money, and then this shit.
We are up to $20,182 on the Kickstarter.
It just keeps going. It just keeps charging along.
44 hours to go.
We did it.
Now. Yeah,
that's the meme this episode.
We're doing it
at this very moment.
Oh man, Redcon 4 is gonna be so fucking cool.
It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be so lit. Holy shit! I'm excited.
It's gonna be shit.
I got the fucking anime wig in the mail the other day.
You did? Do you want to tell us what any details? Because I'm fascinated. I'm gonna save mine for the video when it comes out, I think. But I'm curious about everybody else.
All right, it's just a long black like girl hair wig for cosplay, and you just put it on. But it was like, this is sort of sort of punk-like. You know, I could almost pass myself up as punk. So I was thinking of like buying clothes,
kind of like in RadCon, the Road to RadCon
match.
3, Chapter 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I was, I was looking at myself in the mirror with this fucking punk wig on my head, and I was like,
this feels right.
I have a very masculine jawline. I've just realized.
You do. That's true.
In my head, like putting on a wig would make me look like a girl, and then that would be that, and I would look like a girl on the screen. It's me, the anime girl.
Yeah.
But instead, I looked like a 70s rocker, and I was like, oh, well,
that's true.
That's still cool, I suppose.
In its own special way.
So you guys, have you all listened to the Road to RadCon 4?
I have listened, yes.
I have not gotten around to listening to any of the Road to RadCon. I'm sorry. Gomen aside.
I just haven't finished it yet.
I want to know everybody's perspective on or how you feel about your portrayal in the story.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I love ripped.
You would
jacked
like yours, Ben.
punk.
You would like yours.
I hope so.
Ripped jacked punk or jacked punk is so. I mean, as soon as I saw the thumbnail, I was like, oh. Oh no, what is this? And it just got it was cropped at like the abs. When you click on the video you can see the abs, and they're just like it's like a fucking accordion.
Well, it's that she still has the stick legs of normal punk, but yes, they just connect straight to the abs. So or I should say, because it's you are jacked punk.
I am jacked punk with J-cup tits.
Yes. The little bit of boob popping out below the shirt is my...
They got underboob.
Yeah,
it's the underboob.
There is massive underboob going on. Are those two pumpkins in there? That's got to be what's going on.
That's hilarious.
Three more.
I think
pumpkins.
jacked punk and also the even more so possibly the illustration of Ben in episode 2 are my two favorite things I've ever drawn in my whole life. I would put them both on T-shirts. Absolutely.
I want people to draw fan art of jacked punk. I think that I mean, punk has a very easy to draw sort of face, so it sort of works well.
Oh, you know what?
Very upset
already.
I'm very upset about my portrayal in this image.
You are vaping from the exhaust pipe of the Gravedigger monster truck.
I thought it was like hooked up a hose to the tail.
And you reside at the bottom of basically the Goron city from Ocarina of Time, except that it's full of Antifa and smoke from your vape. And
that's basically Cop Kill Town, is what you're describing.
Yeah.
Regarding my portrayal in the second part of
that.
Chapter 2, I don't mean to overstate the case, but I really feel like you were like, I did all the work with Ben. Let's just get this Nate part done and move on to.
When you get to, have you heard part 3 yet?
I did not finish part 3 yet. No.
When you get to parts 3 and 4, you'll truly appreciate what I have done with you, because the joke is that you are a shockingly accurate portrayal of you. All the commenters agree that my Nate is spot on, because everybody else is over the top and ridiculous.
Oh, I was crying for personality. I'm like, I'm so boring in this. But if that is the joke, then
the joke is that nothing has changed about you. You are exactly the same, and you are so predictable that I can write you to a level of accuracy that is that makes it feel weird even for me.
Did you knows you better than you know yourself?
But yeah, you get a lot of you're kind of like the main character because Brad fucked you over, so you get a lot of dialogue in parts 3 and 4.
Well, shit. I gotta get to it. What am I doing?
But yeah, there's a lot of Ben and Nate back and forth banter, especially in Chapter 4. I tried to capture I really tried to capture the feel of the PCP anytime there's a conversation. I wanted it to feel like you are listening to an episode.
What a nightmare.
I can get that a lot.
Never mind. I'm not listening to this.
I mean, and just for the record,
okay.
I loved the description of. I mean, your start at the beginning, Digi, of being a broken, basically like a hollow from Undertale, from doing too much, from Dark Souls, from doing too much, just being a wastrel of a man. But some precious passerby just bringing the essence of life, that piss that went straight into your mouth and revived you from
Munchie's
the grave.
Piss.
What a wonderful
is what literally I've been living on for God knows how long. Munchie's piss and crack, which in chapter 4 you will learn the truth about the crack, the true nature of Digibro's crack addiction and what it really is.
I see. I'm looking forward.
What could it mean?
Now we've got all the 5 parts, the whole thing. It's all funded.
Yeah, 5 funded.
Part 5 is funded, so I got to make the epic finale. It's gonna have to be. I mean, at least with part 5, I don't have to rush it because it's already done. So like,
yeah, take your time.
It's not advertising the Kickstarter anymore, but it'll probably be a lot longer.
I was so sure we would not hit 20K.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
I was
just
positive it was like a complete pie in the sky. Like, this is a promise that will never have to be
fulfilled. We thought 10K might have been unreachable at the very beginning.
At the very beginning, yeah.
10K.
But like, once the really good start happened, and then it sort of slowed down, there was a lot of talk of like, at this rate, we're not going to get to 20K or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, but there's always a bump. There's always a bump near the end.
There is always a bump, but it's not always...
There's always people... There's definitely people who are, like, holding off on getting a paycheck. It's not like doom and gloom just because it's at a certain rate. Because the rate changes every day.
I've heard tales around that there is at least one person who I believe is planning to donate $1,000 to this thing. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I heard tale of.
That would be crazy.
I think I might know that guy,
listener. That could be you.
It could be all of you, ladies and gentlemen.
It could be you every day. You can do that anytime you want. You don't have to wait for
That's
a
true.
Just
go to
send me
$1,000.
$1,000.
I mean, this is in the past now, so we won't know the final total, but they will.
Well, that's true. That's true. After the tragedy of having one of our 1,000 boys drop down,
it's never too late to send us money.
Somebody actually has one time sent me $1,000. That has happened before. So that was
that's pretty sick.
Disgusting.
The closest thing, I mean,
it's disgusting because it happened to you and not me.
Exactly.
Arthremus gave me the Cintiq that he had lying, which is like probably valued at 1,000 plus. So
it is, yeah.
Close enough.
That's sick. That's sick.
That's
800 something.
Yeah.
Let me just review real quick all the things that's going to come to you. So people have pledged, you get pins. I mean, I know I've said it a million times. I got my Radcon 3 pin. The pin brings me probably more joy. Like my shirts are in the closet. I wear them all the time. Sporadically, they give me joy. Every day I sit down at my computer, I look over at my purple and blue Radcon 3 pin on the starry background, and it just makes me happy. It sparks joy is what it does. I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, but it does for me.
I mean, I have no purpose for pins, so I don't know where any of them are.
In this case, I kind of just have a little spot on my printer to my right where I have my Poobah pin, my Radcon pin, and my little Slime Corp logo pins. It's just my pin spot, I guess. There's like not on anything. I mean, Michelle has like hers on her bag or whatever. But I'm not losing these. I just want them to be there. They make me happy. But I mean, I've got walls here. You're gonna get a poster if you pledge to a certain degree. I'm gonna slap that on my wall as well. That will also spark joy. And you know what? I'm just thinking now about the fan art that we're likely to get from this OVA at some point. It's gonna be nuts.
Hell yeah!
Like remember Nexus's amazing art of us like during the
yes.
That was the fucking sickest
game
shit,
cover.
and there will likely be more. Holy shit! I can't wait. I mean, fuck. What do we got? We got all the lectures are coming. We've got the fucking
I'm scared.
shirts and the PTA. The Rumble is happening, the Tiki Bar, the OVA, which we're packing so many fucking ideas in this
Have we
OVA.
explained what the idea for the Tiki Bar is?
We have explained.
Maybe not clearly.
Well, we definitely did in the Kickstarter video. Or
if you want to
like
restate it, feel free. It's just gonna have drinks.
The general idea is like certain streams that we do will be controlled by the PTA members, I think. Just them, or just people in the chat.
Well,
but
we can
get people to drink on stream for various reasons.
My thought is that we can give the PTA some amount of control, but it should be open to the public, and anyone at any time in the like the YouTube chat or whatever will be able to, like, if you donate, like there will be like a menu, probably put a menu on screen, and it'll be like if you donate an amount for a drink, and like specify who has to drink. You can buy drinks for us and force us to drink. And I think that probably there should be some like, if someone's like, I can't drink anymore, I'm gonna die, or I'm gonna throw up, or I'm too drunk, you can like tap out, but maybe there'll be some kind of like penalty associated with it. I think that'd be funny.
Okay,
I don't know what that would be exactly.
I don't know how legal that is, but
well, we're all. Well, I mean, you can't make Munchie drink.
Well, you also.
That's
I don't
true.
know if
That's
you can
true.
legally pay someone to drink. Like, can you?
I mean,
You're
yeah.
buying the drink. I don't know.
Well, if you have the option to, that's what I'm saying. It's like
If you have the option to say no,
you have the option to say no, and then we kick your ass, or we throw you into the
sounds
sea.
good. Just kick my ass right now. I'm straight edge.
Yeah.
Of course, is the calendar, the Brad lecture. Brad's going to be there. The diss track that we will have to start working on imminently, and then the music video that we will produce. I mean, we got to get the song out, I guess, before RadCon, so that we can make the music video at RadCon, and so we'll be working on that. And the fucking light novel, funded, physical release, coming to all 100 and plus backers. So hope that you made it in time. That's gonna be that. Maybe we'll fucking sell copies after separately or something. I don't know.
If people want them,
If they want them.
if you want them, we'll sell them.
yeah.
I mean, we could easily just sell it like through Amazon.
Like the Amazon printing service or whatever it is that
Yeah.
requests.
God,
I
I
just think about
really
that.
love internet creators with physical products that they're selling. Not
my
like
favorite.
not
It's
like
my favorite.
T-shirts and stuff, but like, you know, comics, books,
It's fucking
thing-
sick, dude.
things that you could put on your bookshelf and say that came from an internet guy that would have otherwise not existed because it's
It
hard
makes
to
it
get
feel
published.
real, so that mom and dad can finally get it after all.
I
When they
definitely
see
want
that
to
book.
buy. I definitely want to get the Digi's light novel and
No
the
doubt.
Hell
the Road to Radcon novel.
Of
I want
course.
to have those for real.
I have no idea what the road to RadCon is going to look like because it's not long, so
No.
I don't know if it's going to be like a
it
pamphlet
doesn't-
or.
It'll be a little thing.
It's short and sweet, like Common Sense by Thomas Paine. We will secede from the Union and become our own nation at RadCon for Paradise. It's just about time.
All right. Did we say, was there like an agreement that Tom would do like the artwork if,
For what?
He did say
For-
he
for-
would do that. Yeah.
yeah, so
Oh, yeah,
he'll
for
have
the
to
book,
draw
yeah.
Jacked Punk. That's really funny.
Yes. That'd be exciting. I mean, I don't know if it's exclusively going to redo the art that I've done or do original art for it. I have no idea.
We probably need some more art. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work. Whatever. We can figure it out. We got options here, and we've got money to do things with to make it.
Oh my
nice.
god.
Imagine that. Oh, by the way, we're at $20,294.
Just gonna
It went up
say
again.
things.
It went up
It's just,
again.
This is like the remember the first time we recorded the podcast after we launched the Kickstarter? It was
Oh,
the
yeah,
same.
that's
We were
right.
during the stream. We were like, oh, we're up another 100. Oh, we're up another 200.
What?
Holy shit. We are. By the way, we might pass. I was worried because for a while, like even though we exceeded the amount raised in
Yeah.
the first one, the number of backers was actually trailing behind the
backers,
first one. We had fewer for a while, but now we're catching up. We had 308 the first time. Now
That's right.
we are up to 292. So yeah, we might end up with at least as many backers.
It would make me
as the
very
first
happy
time,
to
I
break
hope.
the number of backers, just to feel
Yeah.
like, hooray, our audience has grown, even though like we
Yeah.
are charging
You know,
more.
I
for
really
each
think,
thing.
yeah, the fact that we made with literally like less backers, more than twice as much money, it must mean that people really liked RadCon 3. Like,
It was such
Yeah.
a triumph. We did
Yeah, I think
everything we
so.
promised, and they were all pretty great.
I mean,
think.
it's kind of like it's hard to understand when it actually happens because like you do the RadCon
Yeah.
and none of the videos get more than 5,000 views.
It's
And
true, yeah.
they, some of them take an eternity to come out, and the response is like it's a positive response. But when you just see like 1 day worth of comments, and they're just kind of like, "Good job, guys," it's just like,
Yeah.
all right,
Like
well,
the
there it
the
is.
Radcon 3, the
Hope you
arena
liked
video
it.
that I slaved over with all
Yeah.
the different GoPro footage things, and like we go around shooting each other. It was really fun, really cool.
It's an amazing
But
video,
It
legitimately.
didn't get much of a response though. It was just sort of like, yeah, cool. Oh yeah, it's like
I mean, look
Yeah.
at the, like
a
we've
a
got
few thousand views. Like, all right,
But the numbers don't lie when it comes to the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Like, clearly those
With
those
something
few
like this,
people
though-
were into it.
You know what's interesting? Like during this Kickstarter, I also noticed, maybe you guys noticed as well, that like another Kickstarter launched during this time that Matthew Matosis just made a video about, which is the
Yeah, the
Wonderful
Wonderful
101s.
101, yeah.
And that's already, I think it's shot past, but it had $1.5 million already. And they were looking for like 90,000 to just make it happen, or like 100,000 or something. But then they had all these crazy tiers above that, some of which were like, if they got like 2 million, then Hideki Kamiya will clear his blocked list on Twitter. And, like, but by the way, the lower tier was like, if you pledge like $100 or whatever, he will block you on Twitter. That's like one of the rewards. So like they're working the memes, which I respect in a big way.
Yeah.
But like that product, I think, has far more like, okay, they'll be making a game that everyone can buy and everyone can play. Whereas like with our thing, it's a different animal, which I think just inherently has this like niche community. Like people, our high pledgers are pledging to be like part of the experience by being in the PTA to like shape, and like the fucking dark PTA guys who are gonna help make like a fighter, and then of course the 1,000 boys who are gonna be in the Royal Rumble like personally or whatever. That's a very different experience, I think, than just like, I don't know, helping a game exist. And sure, you'll get a copy, but that you'd have to buy otherwise.
So I think that there's two reasons that contributed to the high like average pledge amount. One, yes, people really loved RadCon 3, and like the people that were into it were happy with the results and are looking for more of that.
Imagine if our audience was just bigger with the same level of passion. Ooh, that's a recipe for money right there.
The other thing is that
it would
like,
require the PCP to be good at any time other than RadCon.
Damn, you're right. You're right about that.
The other thing I think is real is that like
RadCon
it's 2 years later. Probably a lot of our audience has aged by 2 years, and like probably a lot of them that were like in college before are now like working. Like a lot of the audience has probably grown by 2 years, aged up from like college and entered the workforce or whatever. Probably just a lot of them just have more money now.
Now that they have those precious Yang bucks,
now
the
a lot of them
economy's
probably
surging.
have disposable income that didn't have it before.
That's
true, and I mean,
thought.
yeah, maybe some of them have just been saving with anticipation of RadCon eventually. I don't know.
I don't know if I would flatter myself to think that these people have been saving up for 2 years for the specific purpose.
Well, we also
Fair
think,
enough. Fair enough.
But they've probably been getting their shit in order. At least
I hope so.
some of them. And audience, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you've got your shit enough in line to
And you know
back
what?
RadCon
I'm
4.
even proud a little bit of that guy at the beginning who pledged $1,000 and had to drop down because he just like realized it was too much money. You know,
Yes.
it's unfortunate that to us that looked like a dip, but that's just
fine.
life. Good
It's
for
fine.
you.
No,
Being responsible.
he did provide a valuable service of getting people hype about it succeeding easily.
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's true.
Like in a way, it helped because it was like seed money. You know, like
Now
some Kickstarters will launch and then the creator will just like put like $100 or $1,000 into the project at the very beginning as like seed money.
And not to mention, when he pulled that, we then got to play the victim card in a big way, and it was wonderful. I love it every time.
I didn't phrase the tweet to sound like too victimized, but more of like, oh, we've had a little setback, but we're still gonna make it. And hey, look at this, we fucking did.
Take a look at this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take a look at what?
Are you linking something?
No.
Oh,
It's just supporting Resident Evil.
Well, that's how I feel. We should do like a spooky mansion RadCon one of these days. RadCon.
I think the next RadCon we should do it next summer, and it should be Christmas or like snow themed.
What
in the summer.
Why do you think? What do you think would be in like a Christmas themed?
I mean,
Santa hats?
I want to bring up again the
Like we
idea
open
I
presents?
had before of us
Yeah, we
doing
open
like
presents.
a cabin out in the mountains and RadConning from a cabin.
Doable.
Yeah.
Also, let me just throw this at you, everybody.
We talked
With this
about the
amount of
cabin
money,
before.
there is a 100% chance we could find a reasonably priced Airbnb and get tickets to somewhere like, I don't know,
Airbnb.
Tokyo, Japan, and do
Oh my
one
God.
That is
there.
possible.
That is 100%
I mean,
doable.
considering
No question.
like we have to consider now, like we have to level up our understanding of what we're capable of, and like part of what why I thought we could reach 20K with this Kickstarter was that Ben's Vapors 2 Kickstarter made so much money because Vapors 2 I think made more than twice what Vapors 1 did as well, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So like
that.
when I had seen that and it was more than it made more than RadCon 3, right?
Yes,
it did.
RadCon 1,
it was like
RadCon 3
$12,000
made
or something.
$9,000. RadCon 2 made exactly $12,000.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, like when I was looking at
not pure profit, by the way. That's just the number donor.
when I was looking at how much the Vapors had made, I was like, well, like Ben's making this much off of this like relatively obscure comic. Part of it is a lot of it is the promotion and the stretch goals and the fact that you created this like sort of meta narrative with the continuing stretch goals, just like giving people something to do essentially. And I was like, yeah, this kind of seems like representing like the full potential. If Ben were to go all out on something like on a project, what's the most money he could make on that? And that felt like it represented that. And so I looked at it and I said, okay, well, I know that my audience is way the fuck bigger than Ben's, so like if I did something with this level of push, it should be able to get even bigger numbers. And like I never promoted RadCon 3 at all, because I was just like lost in a whole other world while RadCon 3 was being planned. But with this one, I was just like, as soon as I throw my hat in, I know it will do something to bump this. And since it already hit the goal right away in the first couple of days, at first I was like, well, maybe I don't have to do anything. And then I was like, well, like I looked over the numbers and I was like, nobody wrote in we get paid. Nobody wrote that in. How did that happen? How did I not notice?
It was there for a bit, and then we with like anxiety of not getting that amount. Like we didn't want to ask for too much for the initial, so we said, okay, what is completely necessary? And we
here's the dirty secret.
And the getting extra like paid for the time we were spending was like something we cut.
Here's the dirty secret that I would never have admitted until it had been funded, and now you can't take your money back, so you can't know that we made a bad business decision, which was because we were so jazzed to it. We committed our plane flights and the money to getting the Airbnb. So if we hadn't done it, we would have been purely out of pocket. So we had to make sure we hit that goal by any means necessary.
If they had launched the Kickstarter and it had made $0, we would be like $3,000 or
$5,000 out.
I mean, it wasn't
several grand in the hole.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a stupid.
That will never happen again. I will never do that again.
It wasn't a stupid idea to buy the Airbnb early, because we were worried that there's only so many Airbnbs that completely fit the criteria. If we didn't put the money down,
slaved over which one to
we
get.
We would have lost it or not gotten it, and then everything would have been ruined anyway. So we had to get that first.
Not to fearmonger, but when we did RFC Con K the last time, we had the B&B. Munchie had the B&B all sorted out, and then the guy just canceled like the day before.
Well, okay. If
I sure hope that doesn't happen.
Did you surely you got your money back at least, right?
Yeah. But then we had 24 hours to scramble to find a new place.
You know what? We'll roll with it. We'll figure it out. But
I mean,
I've been in touch with the guys.
We can't control for such a thing. There's nothing we can do to prevent it.
This is like a business, and they seem to know their shit. So I'm pretty confident.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's always a fear to be like. See, that's the thing.
Terrifying.
But like the fact that we've now.
I mean,
committed,
I'm much more worried about the fact that what if the
coronavirus
airport? Yeah. What if they don't let Given come into the country by the time this happens?
They'll just scan me. They'll scan me like, are you gay? Beep. No.
If he was coming from China, I'd be a little worried.
Are there any coronavirus reports from the UK?
There's like one in all the countries. There's 8 confirmed cases. No one's serious. It was probably higher than that by now. It was the last time I checked. It was 8.
I know China's a big place, but I know that Econ was planning to go to China. Did that happen? Or
that has not happened yet, and I don't think it will unless they open the country back up by then. Because
I was gonna say, isn't half of China like in quarantine mode?
Yes, most of it is locked down. To the point that they're not like allowed to leave their houses, and they got drones yelling at old ladies in the street to go home. It's fucking hilarious and crazy.
That does sound really funny.
They're also mass burning bodies somewhere in
that's right.
Somewhere out in the fields. But yeah, China's a madhouse right now. I don't know if Econ will be able to go by if it'll be reopened by the time he's going to leave. But he had said something about coming to RadCon 4. Right.
Like
having some interest in that, so I assume he was going to leave after that.
I'll give you 1 hour of our time, Econ. That's how much our budget. Then you have to be out the door.
Maybe we could invite Chris Chen at the same time.
That sounds like a great idea.
Oh yeah,
Econ
yeah.
and Chris
My
Chan.
two favorite
They would
people.
they would really play off each other. They would have great chemistry together.
I'm sure Econ would be interested in meeting Chris Chan, right?
I
The
suppose
funny
that's true.
thing is that meeting Chris is not that interesting. She doesn't
Well, I mean, what
she
do you
doesn't
expect?
do anything. Yeah,
Right.
she doesn't she's funny to think about, and she says funny stuff online, but she doesn't do anything interesting in person.
It's just the way
She
you're
ju-
describing it. It's like you're describing like a toy that you bought and it's not that interesting. Like, yeah, I brought it home and it's just like it doesn't really do anything.
It's
you
just
know, it
kind
just
of
kind
like
of looks
it's
funny.
like it's like you go to the zoo and you're like, oh, I want to see the lions,
Yeah.
but then you go to there's just
They're just
one and
laying
it's like
around.
sitting there behind
Yeah,
the bush
yeah.
and you tap on the glass and
They're
you're
not
like, hey,
balls
move.
or
In person.
or anything.
Doesn't live up to
But
the hype.
it just doesn't. It
But
doesn't give
it's
a
about the
shit.
stories that are told. It's about the experiences,
Yeah.
A lot of it's been mythologized, like the man in the pickle suit and whatnot.
Oh,
That event was probably less entertaining to see as it is to think about and just mull over.
I don't know. A full-on pickle man costume.
It sounds pretty spectacular. It's
four
that
pickle
that
man.
one maybe. But like Chris probably didn't do it. Chris probably just kind of froze up and stood there in confusion.
I would probably do the
That's-
same,
that's-
to be fair.
that's-
But
yeah.
It reminds me of lectures. I was thinking about doing a lecture or two or something, and I was racking my brain trying to think, what do I know that's also like a lecturable subject? And I kind of came to the conclusion that in order to make it a lecturable subject, I would need to do an amount of research that is essentially
That's kind of where I'm at.
I would need
can
to
I give
do
you-
so much more research than what is already in my brain, and if it's not in my brain, it's going to be a fucking nightmare, and I kind of don't want to bother.
Let me give you an example of something. Yesterday in my stream, this is why I was the right man to do the Kingdom Hearts lecture. And it is because when I was playing Kingdom Hearts, or I was doing my stream, I was talking about my experience of playing through the new Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. I went on a rant about something that deeply offended me in Kingdom Hearts 3's DLC. And it's that, these so-called scholars, that, they've got all this lore, they know everything about the series, they're such geniuses making this DLC that is literally just a canon retcon because they fucked up the story the first time and they had to fix it with DLC. These geniuses, such as Nomura, in Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a section in the DLC you can play as Roxas briefly, and what they did was they gave Roxas the special power from Kingdom Hearts 2 called Reversal. But here's the thing, Reversal was a reaction command in Kingdom Hearts 2, emphasis on the word reaction, because in that game, reaction commands relate to the specific enemy you are fighting, not the character you are fucking playing as, you idiot Nomura. And so what he does is he makes it so that when you play as Roxas, you can use this reversal power, which puts you behind the enemy. You kind of swoosh around behind him. But the problem is, in Kingdom Hearts 2, you could do it to Dusks, to Xemnas, and I believe the Twilight Thorn as well. Those were the only enemies with the reversal reaction command, and in Kingdom Hearts 3, they act like it was an intrinsic power that Roxas had, and you could use it on enemies like Luxord and Larzine, which you could never do it, and it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what a reaction command is and what the fucking reversal power is, and that kind of knowledge. And even Keyblade Spirit says, wow, Nate, even I'm not this autistic about Kingdom Hearts. That's why I'm the right man for the job, to do that lecture.
It's like I don't have... Maybe I do, but I don't have anything that like I could really make a big old lecture about that would also be an interesting topic that anyone would want to listen to.
I feel you.
That's where I'm stuck, because
I've got very few things. To be fair.
My first idea was I wanted to talk about the 5-album narrative of the Coheed and Cambria albums.
Right.
And there's a ton of comics and supplementary material to read to study for that I haven't read. But like, I thought about it and I was like, well, the main appeal of explaining the Coheed album narrative would be that I could say like, all right, this song, this is what it's about. You know, like this song that you've heard and you know, here's what it's about. But no, I don't think anybody in the PCP listens to Coheed and Cambria at all. So
Here and there, a little bit.
You know, it'd be me like lecturing you guys and being like, okay, well, when he
I'd be
says this
stone-faced
lyric,
the
and it's
whole
like, you
time.
don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I was like, maybe that's not such a good
Well,
idea for this context.
It could be, because like I knew nothing about Guilty Gear, and Tom's lecture was engaging just for the...
It
for
was
the,
good.
You know, for the things he was
It's
explaining as he went.
The thing about it is that, like, you know, the actual... it's that the actual experience of the Coheed and Cambria albums is not the same as the story. And so what makes the story interesting as a deep dive is that you can have a different experience than the albums. So, like, you won't get a sense of what this music sounds like or what the actual lyrics are or
no doubt.
any of that if I just tell you the story. And the story isn't inherently interesting. It's interesting that this story is being told in this incredibly bizarre way through these lyrics and music, you know? That,
honestly, you're right. That doesn't sound like a great format.
Yeah.
For, it has to be a wacky, crazy story told in a wacky, crazy way.
Yeah, I mean, the story
that's what made the Guilty Gear lecture, because, like, like, the story of Guilty Gear is not analogous to playing the games, but it is just weird in its own right.
The story of the Coheed albums is also insane. It's completely fucking bonkers,
okay, then fair enough.
So it would be entertaining in that sense, but, like, to me, the intrigue of the story is, like, you hear these lyrics that mean ostensibly nothing, and then you look into them, and it's like this massive sci-fi fucking war story, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
this sounds like this story. This seems like it would be best told in, like, YouTube video format to me.
This is
clips.
This reminds me of okay.
I think it would be a good lecture. It just would have to be in front of people who know the music.
I might be exposing my ignorance here because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about K-pop except that I see it on Twitter all the fucking time, and I'll be looking at a seemingly normal thread, and then suddenly K-pop gifs start getting posted, and I check out because I'm like, I'm not going to understand anything that's being said from now on.
Yeah, when I posted about how my grandma just died, and that guy replied with "should have stanned Boo Jung Po" or whatever, I was like, I mean, fair enough. She did not stan that guy. Maybe that would have done it. As they usually post about.
I don't know why, but I clicked on the Wikipedia article for BTS the other day, and apparently they also have like a alternate reality storyline going on.
That sounds kind of interesting.
I mean, there's tons and tons of stuff that I think would fit the lecture format well. It's just like a matter of, will this be interesting to people who don't know what it is already? And like in the case of Coheed, I think it could be, there's an entertaining lecture that could be done just about the story, but it would not be as interesting as comparing it to the lyrics and being able to like mind expansion people who know them.
Yeah,
the fair. Other idea I had, and the problem with this one is it would require even more research on my part, but it wouldn't be too hard to do, is Touhou.
That's a great idea. Great idea.
That is a good one. Yeah, I think.
But the problem with Touhou is that there's not really a ton of like official narrative that's that interesting to dive into. Mostly it's about the characters, and I mean there are a ton of like official stories and weird details about them, but it would be like, when it comes to the fan content, it's like there's nowhere to start. It's endless. There's more fan content for Touhou than anything else on the planet. So, I don't know.
I think if someone could work in... Someone could definitely make a good Touhou lecture. There would probably be, like, skeleton around. You go through the games from start to finish. You talk about Zun's life and stuff. And then, like, as relevant characters come up, you just tell anecdotes about, like, what this character has done.
Like a really, really strong idea for a lecture. Because, like,
the only problem with
I have no fucking idea about Touhou lecture, and I'm in these circles, personally.
Like, that's just like Guilty Gear. Like, everybody knows it. But, like, probably, like, how many people actually know what the fuck it's about?
And here's the thing. When it comes to these lectures, I like when we do them about these super autistic things, because most of their fans can't explain that all. Like, they're so into it that they don't know how to communicate about it. And like, if you go to Touhou panels at like Otakon or something, they're fucking incomprehensible. Like, even for me with like a surface level understanding, because the people at them know everything. It's just constant references and obscure left hooks and just like rambling, incoherent nonsense and shouting about the characters. Just a bunch of people who are really excited about Touhou, spurging the fuck out about Touhou, and like there's no way to get a grasp on what the hell you're experiencing, you know, in that context.
Yeah.
And even if you do know Touhou, like, for someone like me, and this is why I would have to do a lot of research to do it, like, there's always new games and new characters coming out. So, most people probably know the main characters from, like, imperishable knight
from Reimu's upcoming inclusion in
Embodiment of
Super
Scarlet
Smash
Devil.
Brothers in the new DLC
Yeah.
pack. That's going to be the one.
But like, there's fucking hundreds of characters. You know, there's so many to go through, and so many side stories and manga and all that extra shit. So I don't know.
Yo, Monkey's Paw choice. All right, you get your PCP lecture about Touhou, ladies and gentlemen, listening at home, but it's done by a man who I know could do it, who has the skills. Econ. Guest lecture from Econ
I honestly
about
don't
Touhou.
even think Econ would be willing to because of how much research he would think he would have to do.
I think he has the knowledge to do it, but I mean, no, he's not going to do it.
He wouldn't, like, unlike, the reason that, okay, this is why I'm so worried about me doing it, is that, like, there is a standard of research that I would approach it with, which is enough to tell somebody who doesn't know about Touhou as much as they need to know to become interested. Anybody who already knows about Touhou will look at me and say, you motherfucker, you got this wrong, you didn't go into this, like there's all these extra details you could have talked about. Why didn't you bring
exactly
up this? Why
that
didn't
kind
you
of
bring up
community.
that? It's exactly that kind of community. They're extremely hardcore. They're very opinionated. So like,
you know, if you started at something
scary.
like that, that's a very real possibility. But if you started with, like, this is designed to be, look, this is Touhou 101.
It doesn't
if we
matter
hit
if
the
you say that.
50,000 Kickstarter, we'll do Touhou 102, and that's the advanced course. I don't know.
I would probably keep it to just official canon. That would be the easiest
Honestly,
way
dude,
to have...
the best way to get the most views, you have like an hour-long, maybe 2-hour-long lecture on Touhou, and you include shit like, why is Chirino associated with 9? Why is she a Baka? And then you explain
that's
that
all the
kind of
stuff.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I would probably do is go through each game, explain each character, all the like most famous lore pieces and where they came from about those characters that are like tied to the actual narrative.
That's a 1 million view video right there, is what that is.
Could be.
Somebody making that, I think. If the Christian, well, maybe 500,000. I don't know, but that one's got legs.
I might do it, but that's probably the best idea I've had other than the Coheed lecture so far. So, and I also am curious if anybody listening or if any of you guys just has ideas for things that like I know about that you would want to lecture. Like what spawned this whole lecture series was literally that Ben would just tell stories about Chris Chan all the time, and I said you need to lecture us about, like, I really want you to just sit us down and like black pill me on Chris Chan because I don't know enough to have context for what the hell you're talking about. So
I don't know, because you do.
So I educated the whole world.
You do talk about a lot of the things that you know, like at length in videos and stuff. So like, is there really even that much stuff that you haven't talked about that you could do in a lecture?
It's hard to say because it's hard to know what stuff, like, maybe there's something that I have talked about it but not nearly at the depth I could, you know, or just haven't at all. Like, there's certain subjects, I mean, again, like, say the Coheed and Cambria album narrative, like, I haven't talked about that.
Well, you know about a lot of music
context,
stuff.
you know?
I don't know really anything about rap.
What
is
Death
rap
Grips?
music?
Death Grips is not a bad one.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Death Grips, I do have a video about, and there's not that much to go into because a lot of their thing is that they're just very mysterious. So, you know, they don't have like a... There's like all the little legendary things they did at the start of their career, but at this point they basically just every year a new album drops out of nowhere, and you go, oh shit, new Death Grips. And
you know, this would be redundant because I actually just watched a video about it, but it does strike me as a story that would work well for the formula, which is just the life and times of one John McAfee and all the adventures that he's been up to.
What video
that's a
did
perfect
you watch?
story.
I want to watch a video.
I watched that 4-part by that one dude who interviewed him after it was done.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know his name. Michelle pulled it up for me, but I mean, it was really funny. And actually, that guy clearly was biased against John McAfee, and the whole time I couldn't help but be like, you know, John McAfee may be responsible for a few people dying and stuff, but like at least he's not a pussy like you, dude. At least he's like not a little bitch. You know,
McAfee is definitely one of my heroes.
He's a libertarian god on this earth, no doubt about it.
I will be writing him in on the ballot if Pete Buttigieg is the pick for the Democratic Party.
It's looking pretty unlikely that Pete's going.
We don't know.
By the way, I guess
we have no idea.
We don't. Well, like, fucking Bloomberg keeps rising in the betting odds.
Super Tuesday,
but, like,
baby.
He hasn't. he hasn't even been on a single ballot yet, so like it remains a complete like hypothetical at this point. Nobody knows.
Is he trying to? So is he running independent or for the DNC?
No, he's running. Literal Democrat. Pete Bloomberg is running as a Democrat, and then all these people were like, Bernie's not even a real Democrat. Bernie's not even a real Democrat. He hasn't been vetted. Bloomberg, literal Republican, comes in, runs on a Democratic ticket, and everyone's like, yes. All the media shows are like, yes, let's get behind fucking Bloomberg.
Yeah. The fact that he clearly pays people to talk about him. Like, even in the debates, they brought him up.
Admittedly.
Like, it was obvious that they had been paid to bring him up because they, like, quote him, like, in a... It was ridiculous. But,
sure.
How could he get the Democratic candidacy? Like, he hasn't been voted on anywhere. Like, how does one become this position without participating?
I think the idea is just to saturate the media and saturate the mainstream media and the airwaves and commercials with Bloomberg propaganda and then hopefully like win big on Super Tuesday. I think that's his plan.
Is he even included in the polls that they do? Like,
he will be.
Was he in the
Super
Iowa
Tuesday
caucus
is
at
the
all?
day he's waiting for.
He was.
Well, look, the reason why the early states
know.
matter is because it sets
He
the
might
tone
start
for
appearing
who's going to
on
win. But
polls.
if you can just manufacture good tone for the upcoming states that truly do matter, theoretically you could bypass it. It hasn't really been done much, but it's in theory it's possible, and that's what he's banking on, I think. Although some people think he's not actually trying to win, but is just trying to, I don't know, fuck shit up in a good way.
Word is going around that he might name Hillary as his VP.
I heard about that.
Which, yikes.
Oh, what if he then retires? Okay. He then gives up the mantle of president at last.
Retires immediately. He's
immediately.
Like, resign. Yeah, fuck it.
That's probably exactly what would happen.
She's going in the back door.
Shit.
Please, make it happen, Mike.
I guess now might be a time to briefly mention that, yes, Bernie won New Hampshire. Very exciting. Right. If you're hearing this on Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, is the day of the Nevada caucuses. So if you're in Nevada, get out and vote for Bernie.
Good night, sweet Yang.
Do not realign yourself to any other candidate. If Bernie is unviable, unlikely, but a possibility, just go home.
I mean, I've been hearing these things about Clubmentum going on, though, and I gotta say, I'm liking what I'm hearing. The purple surge.
It is in fact Clover in time.
Clover in time.
Shout out to Bevan for his incredible image.
Because she looks like the Hulk.
She's tiny.
But she's sturdy though.
She's stout. She's sturdily built. Yeah,
like a female dwarf.
We're talking about.
She always is.
We're talking about
quivering
Shrek,
a little
right?
bit. Yeah, yeah. She's always quivering a little bit on like the debate stage. Sometimes she's just like vibrating like a hummingbird.
That's that Clubmentum. She's just raring to go. She's got to hit gas.
She can barely contain the forward motion. Vote for Bernie, everybody.
There you go. There's
Are we
the
ready to move to voicemails then?
Oh wait, before we do that, let's talk about my problematic tweet where I insinuate that right people don't think.
Okay, sure.
Oh, the response to my tweet.
So tell us what it said first of all, if you want to.
Great tweet. My tweet. All right. Well, my tweet was it was a retweet from Rational Disconnect with a screenshot of a Louder with Crowder video called Exposed, Buttigieg's Leftist Extremism. 108K views, and I said there is no skill floor for being conservative, meaning that you can be as dumb and as wrong and as thoughtless as you want, and nobody on the right cares as long as you are appealing to their basic sense of fear and disgust. And they will eat it up, and you will make $1 million. That was my tweet.
How could someone say something so brave? Yeah.
Thank you.
Controversial.
I have no issue with that. Certainly within the realm of possibility.
But then I follow it up with a thought I had been having, which is what I say is it literally does seem to be that the difference between the left and right political persuasion is the amount of thinking you do. It's not even that all people on the right are stupid, they just don't bother thinking about things. First impressions.
Well, hang on. That your first tweet was just that first sentence.
No.
All this
it was the whole... No, he's still...
Am I wrong?
This is the tweet. First impressions and gut reactions are often wrong. And that was my tweet. And
oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, did you not read it? Did you get triggered?
I thought I only saw the first half. I just didn't realize. Okay, whoops.
Yeah, well,
I agree. You don't. It's a gut reaction to be a reactionary conservative. It's like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's literally
this scares me.
Same on both sides.
it is kind of that was the thing I realized afterwards.
All of it is the exact same. There's no difference at all.
I will admit that you can be a
point.
liberal, that you can be a shit lib without thinking about anything.
I mean, you
just
can,
like, oh, Trump's
you
mean
can be
online.
good or bad of either.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
it is
I certainly agree.
the case.
The left, the real left.
The
Is
the thing
data
that
driven.
I was trying to get
We
at
love
was,
we love facts, we love logic, we love
really?
rational discourse.
ORLY. All right.
Yes, one hundo.
the thing. All right, I have been getting really into. Last time I talked about BreadTube and PhilosophyTube and ContraPoints and stuff. And I've been feeling really left, really cuck loser. Like I played Dark Souls 2 and I liked it.
You
That's
gotta
sort of,
take Gib. You gotta take a little of each
I know.
medicines. You gotta
Well,
mix them up.
Here's the thing.
This
Hey,
tweet
guys,
right
let me
here.
don't
is-
want to be Ben.
I watched a Louder with Crowder video. I watched a full-on Louder with Crowder
you don't
video.
need to watch Steven Crowder.
Right. Fucking.
You know
could you
he's
let me
not-
finish the thing I was saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I've been getting more left, just ideas in my brain that I didn't have before. And what I was realizing was that a lot of social justice stuff, when presented not as stark raving mad, crazy feminist screeching, it actually, like, a lot of the things make sense. Things like white privilege that I would have assumed, oh, that's complete bullshit because it's said by people who are crazy. The people who I see in videos by Thunderfoot and stuff like that. And I still like Thunderfoot. I like his videos. I like The Amazing Atheist. I like the Razor Fist, the Rageaholic.
Yeah.
But these new ideas, which I previously dismissed out of hand, it was sort of a revelation to me that I thought, this whole time
I had the same
I
revelation. I had the same one.
It's so funny to hear you guys say this because of the fact that I come from this and have moved in the direction of appreciating the other side and being like, oh, these guys aren't slobbering morons on this other side.
It really just depends on where you started. Like, I started with The Amazing Atheist, and he made fun of feminists and, Christians and all that. So it's like, this is where my default position. I believed it because I didn't have any reason to doubt it, and I thought it was funny. And then in the future, there's conflict, and I choose a side. And now I realize that there's no point choosing a side. You're stupid if you choose a side, or if you stick with the side that you first went into, instead of exploring the other one with genuine curiosity and like open-mindedness, because I used to think I was open-minded, but I would like dismiss things that are like, oh, that's stupid. I've got an open mind, but only if they have a good idea. But they don't have any good ideas because I saw them as screeching idiots. So like really what I was not open-minded because I hadn't looked at what they were actually saying before casting my judgment. I had believed I was open-minded, just because I wasn't, I assumed that because Thunderfoot or whatever told me that this is stupid, I was like, yeah, okay, I get it now, and I didn't get it, and it's cool to be a person who takes all the pieces and puts them together, and then makes a decision.
I was having a Twitter discussion, I think it was yesterday, about South Park. Someone made a tweet about like the damage to the discourse that South Park had done or something, and I agreed with it, and someone disagreed, and we had a pretty civil discussion about it, and my point was just that like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I remember being influenced by media like
help us out.
Centrist media like South Park that says both sides are dumb, and I didn't mention these, but also like reaction channels.
It's not
and like
centrist
and
to
like
say both sides are dumb.
It is though. That's what centrism is.
I feel like we've been over this, but
we had a whole fucking video YouTube discussion on it over on stcomics.com.
What's centrism? Huh? Maybe I should look into this new way of thinking.
It's just that there's to say that it is center. I don't want to get into it. We've already talked about
the definition.
Yeah,
that's like the definition. It's like, left, right. No, they're both dumb.
This is the thing. It's silly and reductive, but it's kind of unavoidable to contain all of the policies considered left and considered right and call them one thing, and you are on one side or the other.
Absolutely.
So
that's the real
someone
issue there.
was talking about. I think Tom said a thing about like gun control, like something gun control, and I said, well, like I know that like gun rights are generally considered a right wing thing, but like Marx himself was like super high on like
you already broke it. It already makes no sense, right? Left and right makes no sense. You don't even have to finish the sentence. Like,
okay, well, they don't make no sense. Okay, they have a general sense, but in certain instances,
they have a logic. They have a logic behind them. I'm saying that there is in some issues there is crossover, because if you're a hardcore lefty, Marx himself was very pro-gun.
If you find yourself in a position of I agree with. Like half of my stances are left wing and half of them are right wing by the way they're constructed currently. This somehow makes me a centrist for thinking that people on either extreme are wrong, even though I'm not in between the two. I feel strongly one way or another about each issue. I'm not in the center.
Hear you.
I think, you know?
I hear you. I just think in practice, such a person is like fantastically unlikely. There are some issues that I think
that such a person is almost everybody, and that all of us just make tons of compromises on shit that we're not sure about or don't care that much about because we want the issues we actually care about. I think most people are single topic voters.
I think that if you really have put a lot of introspection into these things, you will find that you have a tendency in one direction or another.
I think there's a general...
And you might not agree with everyone who shares your tendencies on everything.
The policies that you hold, the things you agree with on could be on one side or the other, and then there's the level to which you are engaged in politics in general. And I feel like people who are like what's the word for somewhat radical? If you are radically on the left or the right, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are with all of these specific policies, but some of them you are very far on that side.
Let me put it
so
this way.
It's like you can to be a centrist, I think, is implied that you're not like heavily one way or the other in terms of like a political like direction that you're trying to go for. But like policy is separate, I think.
Okay, it can't be separate because policy is what defines.
I guess
what the
it can't be
are.
separate, but I feel like there maybe is a trend. I don't have like a position on what centrism is. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make sense because the problem is if I were, retreading the argument I had with Ben, but if I were to say that I felt very passionately pro-gun ownership rights, which is considered a right-wing position in America, and also I'm extremely pro-abortion rights, which is considered an extremely left-wing issue in America, then I now cannot wholesale throw my hat in with either of those parties, each of which is going to take away something I care about. If I sincerely cared about both these things, I am now in a third party because I want them both. And so to call that center party, it's not... The only reason that those things are construed as left or right is that they just so happen to fall into the bubble of people who tend to have certain other beliefs, but there's no real correlation between them other than that people by and large are willing to throw some things under the bus or they just don't care because they care more about other issues. Like in my case, growing up, I was I'm a freedom of speech person. And that's the reason that I'm in such a weird position, because growing up, liberal meant freedom of speech protector. That was a big part of the party's identity. You know, the conservatives were always trying to take shit away from us, take away what we could say. And now I don't know if it actually is the opposite now, but it feels that way because it feels the liberals are the ones taking away what you can say.
The shitlibs and their id poll shit is very It
it's
often
a problem.
is very anti-free speech. I agree that it is a big problem.
And I think that that's what leads. I think that identitarianism is what leads to this, because people so badly want to have an identity of being with this party. And so as long as this party supports the one issue they care about, they will toe the party line on all the other shit, and just assume that what the party thinks is true and correct. Like the way that people talk about like the whole AR-15, the like automatic rifle with 15 rounds information. Like it's so easy for that to spread through Democratic circles, because they will just lap up anything that their side says with they just don't care about gun rights. So they just say, oh, the Dems hate it, so I hate it too. Their arguments make sense, ergo I agree. But then you actually go listen to, some Republican voters who really care about gun rights, who do not care about abortion. They're like, yeah, that should be legal, whatever. I don't care, but I'm voting Republican because they're not taking my guns. And when you talk to somebody like that, you think, okay, so most of these people voting, they don't really have an opinion on most of these issues that are getting thrown in with their party. And I think that like if more people were if we had something like alternative vote, as I'm always saying, like, and we could have third parties that were viable, I think more people would gravitate towards third parties that strip away the things that you don't like about either of the main parties, and just focus on a coalition of things that creates you and your perspective.
It is definitely stupid to have left and right. The only reason it has any value, quote unquote value, is that at the moment we're in a two-party system, which generally goes left right. And
I don't think that's the only reason. But
I mean, the thought that generally people of a certain persuasion think certain different policies are like, I like that section of policies. But like,
here's what I think. Yeah. Here's what I think about the hypothetical of like a person who's like very pro-gun, very pro-abortion. I think I think if you are someone who those are the only two opinions you have, and you don't interrogate why you have them any further than that, like sure, like then it would be impossible for you to draw any kind of like ideological line for yourself and be like, oh, these are my overarching beliefs. But if you think about like if you have like you could have those things, and then you might think about like why do you have them, and if you think about your underlying beliefs that underpin those and cause you to think that way, I think generally what you find is people are inclined to one of two lines of thought. You either favor egalitarianism or you're in favor of hierarchy. Like people tend to fall into these two camps. People have these two patterns of thought
the thing
that
is, though, that
diverge from each other.
Causing everybody to fall. Okay, like for me, as a voter, I have nothing that draws me to either the Democrat or Republican side as like, oh, this makes them better than the other one, so I need to vote for them. Like, there's nothing I feel that they are saying that makes me feel that way.
That theory.
I was arguing with a hashtag still voting Yanger.
Those people, I don't understand that. I don't get it.
It's kind of disappointing. But I think a lot of them are probably like former Republicans or libertarians who went Yang. So I'm like, I'm not too sorry to lose their vote. But anyway, I was arguing with one, and she was no, actually no, this was a Bernie or Buster. It doesn't matter. But I said like I won't vote for Bloomberg. But I would probably vote for most of the Dems if they got. I'm not full on Bernie or bust, but I'm also not full on vote blue no matter who. I'm a centrist about it. But I was saying like
know what to do.
I was saying I said like I know I hate Hillary. Everybody hates Hillary, but like the fact of the matter is like for example, if we'd had Hillary for the last 4 years, it wouldn't have been great, but we would probably be closer to Medicare for all or a decent public option. Like, and we would have a better we would have gotten better picks for the Supreme Court and stuff. Like this.
See, I don't know all that.
We
stuff,
wouldn't have been happy about it, but we would have been. We would be materially better off.
That's the thing that I view as like this weird party think mind poison, because it's like we could have got better seats. I don't know who the fuck Hillary would have picked. Like, yeah, maybe they would have been Democrats, maybe in some vague way that would get us closer to some ideals that I don't even really care about or believe in anyways. But like, I just can't visualize in my mind this world in which things were better because Hillary became president. Like,
Hillary,
certainly,
for all her faults, she was running on a platform of like expanding on the Affordable Care Act and stuff. For all her faults, Hillary was pushing she was pro like expansion of the Affordable Care Act and like a strong public health care option, which is a thing that I agree with.
See, that's a topic that I have no particular stance on. I feel like both arguments have a lot of strength and water. Like I've heard both sides talk about it, and I go, okay, I understand the issues. Like neither solution sounds like obvious to me. Neither one is like, oh, this will definitely make things better. Might make things different. Could be interesting. Might be worth a shakeup. But, you know, like the level of like confidence that people feel in like, oh, if my guy wins, things will get better. And it's like, if your guy wins, things will move very marginally in a direction that will likely be counterbalanced in the next cycle as it usually is. Like
this is what I say. This is what I say to people that like scoff at Bernie and say like, oh, well, you know, Medicare for all is too hard. It'll never get passed. And it's like, okay, let's assume you're right. Let's assume you're correct about that. And Bernie will not be able to fully deliver on everything he says he wants to do, which, you know, is the case for most presidents because they get thwarted by Congress because separation of powers, this is how it's designed. Yeah. And that's fine. The reason I don't care about that is because, sure, but at least he's a guy who will be pushing things he will at least be pushing in the direction that I want things to go in, even if we don't get all the way there. It's better than having someone like Trump or like Buttigieg or even Biden or someone who's going to be like way more, even if someone like Biden like wants, like I know that he would prefer that like more people be insured, right? Like even though I like expanding the Affordable Care Act, I don't think is the best way. We should just go full on fucking socialized medicine. But even if like he's not going to be pushing as hard, right? Okay. Even if he's generally going the way I want, Bernie goes harder for it.
We're going so far into the weeds of policy,
and that's what I want ideologically and materially.
This is a better discussion than usual, though.
Yeah, but where I kind of want to back it out to is, I guess what frustrates me about political discourse is that people have a tendency to look at things within the framework of how they operate currently. People look at it like the Iowa caucuses. They matter because of these like precedents of what they mean, you know, and so everybody gets excited about it and we talk about it. But then particularly this year, like the Iowa caucus was a complete fucking joke. The results essentially mean nothing because of how badly it was cocked up.
Incidentally, I didn't know this, but apparently in 2016, Nevada was like an equally big debacle. I didn't know this, but apparently in 2016, the Nevada caucus, the one that's coming out this Saturday, the one's happening this Saturday, was an equally huge debacle and a nightmare rigged by the fucking DNC. They stole it
but
from
less
Bernie.
People were paying attention at that point.
Well, probably yes.
In any case,
so anyway, that's the one that's happening this Saturday. So I'm looking forward to another.
When it comes
nightmare.
to these caucuses and everything, people are paying all this attention to it and like saying all this stuff about like what it means, and it's like that all assumes that that the precedent will be kept to. But the precedent doesn't have to be kept to. It could be completely subverted. Like Bloomberg currently is trying to completely subvert the precedent. He's just using money to try and put his name in front of people and just get in. And Trump, in many ways, what made Trump succeed was that he went outside the boundaries of what other candidates were doing. He was using the internet. He was using memes. He is just way more blunt and upfront than other presidents. He does not care about like maintaining this uber professional, uber sanitary like presentation that recent presidents, particularly Obama, have had. He rejected all that because his thought process is, well, this may be the way that everyone's doing it, but it's not the only way it can be done, and I can prove that, you know. And so
he was so controversial for that, or for everything about him, that he got like that the mainstream media just fell all over themselves to cover him, and he got billions and billions of dollars worth in free advertising.
He
from
gets
the
tons
media.
and tons of advertising because he is popular content. He will always show up on TV, and he knows how to be popular content. And there was that. Have you seen the Emp Lemon video about Trump? About how he memed his way into presidency. You should definitely check it out. It's a great video. It just basically goes through Trump's whole history and how he has always basically propagated himself as a human meme to get into, you know, eventually into the presidency. But like, I think that the way that Trump looks at the world, he just says, like, I know that this will work. I'm not going to listen to anybody telling me otherwise because I already see how this will work. And that tends to be the way that I look at things, which is like, all right, I know that, like, for instance, getting into the industry as a writer, you know, like, all of us knew at some point in the past, oh, we could try to get published traditionally. Like, we could try to work for a company, get some kind of pro gig, but, like, we saw that there was this alternative path of YouTube, and we went, okay, like, it seems like this is a way you can do it, so let's figure out, like, how we can experiment with this and find another way forward. And, like, when we think about politics, I think people tend to think about it inside the box of what we expect to be the way things work, instead of going, how do we rebuild this box? Like, how do we reshape this? Where can we start? What moves can we make? And there are certain things like, the reason I hammer on about the alternative vote so much is not that I think it would, like, magically change the system or anything. It's just that it's such an obvious step in the right direction that would have so much power, and it's so easy to do. Because all we have to do is demand it as a people. Like, if everyone in America decided, hey, alternative vote is a better way than first past the post because it means third parties have a chance of existing, then, like, that's all it takes to change that. And I look at it and I just think this is so obviously a good solution. Even if it does nothing in the long run, it would be worth having changed it because it's better as a system. Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we making a big fuss about it? And it's because nobody thinks it can happen. Like, people don't convince themselves that those kind of changes can happen because they just think, well, how do you even change something like that? Well, you just ask. You just tell the government to do it. You are the government, ultimately. So it's like everybody gets so caught up in participating in the political game instead of thinking outside of it. And, like, obviously Bloomberg is thinking outside of it, but the way he's doing it is so cynical and so transparent that everybody who looks at it goes, oh, well, this is, like, gross. You know, like,
guys, can I get in for a second here? Because, okay, this whole discussion has been very interesting to listen to, but every single thing all of you guys have said so far doesn't vibe with me because it is all inherently, and I know these words have tons of meanings and, you know, whatever. To me, everything you're saying, including you, Digi, seems super left-wing. And by that I mean, you guys are all talking about what the government should be doing. Whereas, like, as you were saying, Ben, like, what does it mean to be left versus right? I definitely just approach this whole conversation from a different perspective because I have the one fundamental belief I have that people just basically do everything better than the government, and we should not expect them to solve our problems because they're just shitty at it and worse.
Wait, nothing I was saying was implying that the government
Everything
should do
you were saying is about how we need to change the system politically. Now, maybe you're saying by destroying the government or minimizing it? Is that what you meant?
I'm an anarchist. I'm all for destroying the government.
Okay,
let everybody
fair
do
enough.
what they want. I would say that my
kind of not exactly how I would define anarchism, but
okay, all right.
I would what I think would be ideal would be to just have you know, we don't need a government. We just need everybody to not fuck with each other. You know,
I mean, I agree, but how do you enforce that? That's the question.
Let me throw this at you and see if it sticks. All right. Now, I agree that it is bad for the government to control people, right? I agree that, like, if the government is stepping in and telling you what to do, and they are a force, if they are a totalitarian force that is in control of everything, that is bad. However, my issue is that power can accrete anywhere.
Yes.
And it is theoretically possible that individuals, such as, like, a private ownership of a business, Amazon, for example, or any other, like, big corporation, or corporations in general, they have the potential to accrue power, and that is basically becomes oppressive, just like a government does. So while I agree that it's bad for the government to be too powerful, I think it is totally possible, and I would say that it is probably happening now, that private corporations and individuals are becoming authoritarian in their own right and exerting undue influence over the public.
We've got another fundamental issue here.
And the only way to fight back at them, I think, would be through government regulation. Because if private industry, private interests are all aligned with each other against the public, then, like, what instrument does the public have to fight? I mean, strikes?
Okay, sure.
Ideally,
Yeah, a little
ideally not buying things from bad companies would help.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but like
It's hard. It's very difficult.
Which companies are good?
I mean, the
When-
reason
when- when-
obviously
when you
the
vote with
reason
your-
we
when-
have
when you
government.
vote with your wallet, people with bigger wallets get more
I mean,
votes.
I kind of
And the
look
people
at it.
with the people with big wallets all have class solidarity with each other. All the rich are ideologically aligned with each other against everyone else.
I mean, the biggest threat I think to the ability to not have a government is the lack of education, the lack of the ease with which those who have power can control the upbringing and the knowledge that is had by those who are, grow up in the system. Like, they can control how we think about the world, what power we think we have. They teach us to be docile and to follow the script and follow society by their rules so that they can keep it organized. And I think that whether you find comfort in that or not depends on how happy are you in this system, which the average person obviously is, and to at least enough of an extent that they participate. And also, like, how brave are you? Because those of us who don't like the system, we don't like it because of the limitations it puts on us in what we can do with our lives. And there's a lot of people who would probably say, I don't want to be able to do those things. I would happily forego my ability to do these things in order to be safer, to have the government have more control over my life because I trust them. They are, better at keeping me safe than I am. And like, for me, I don't feel that way because the government makes the lifestyle that I want to lead put me in danger. Like a lifestyle that would not be dangerous if not for the fact that it's illegal, like
smoking, like buying drugs,
like buying drugs,
yeah,
like
ACAB.
Yeah, just I mean that's the perfect example just on its own. I can't buy weed here. There's no harm in me smoking it and consuming it and buying it because it's legal in tons of places, but they make me a criminal. They make my actions dangerous.
Look,
so
even somebody like me, despite what I've said before, like I am absolutely prepared to discuss. I do not believe in no government. I am not an anarchist. I am in favor of like a small force that just like polices. So society doesn't completely collapse and fall in on itself. And like potentially, just as an example, maybe if we legalized heroin or some magic super drug of fantasy, like maybe that would cause all of society to collapse because everyone just does
that's
that,
what
nothing
Pete
else.
wants to do. He wants to legalize all drugs.
I mean, I am not convinced that such a thing exists, but like if we knew that would happen, I would be for the government preventing that happening personally. Because I don't want society to collapse. That is a net bad, I would say.
Sure.
For things like that, like I'm totally on board. But like there's other things, like the whole idea of businesses being overly powerful and stuff. That's probably true in many ways, and we should fix those things. But I mean, there are definitely fundamental disagreements. I know we've previously discussed about just the existence of billionaires and I guess giant corporations as well being inherently immoral. Whereas I just don't agree that just I need tangible examples of what they're doing to police those specifically. And could someone
Climate
go to the
change.
point? Could someone reach the point where, like, this company has done so many bad things, it needs to cease existing? Because I also believe that with criminals, I'm for execution if they do enough bad stuff. Same thing with businesses. If they do enough bad stuff, break it down. But until that, like, Amazon, for example, does so much bad, we should destroy it.
The problem with
I would argue that their profits alone constitute what should be a crime.
Maybe.
I think
I would need to see some data.
It's not so much like having a lot of money literally makes you do evil things. It's the whole system of capitalism that encourages it leads to certain outcomes when are
you talking about like unrestrained, rampant capitalism with no caps?
Okay. I mean, the whole thing with fossil fuels being, like climate change. There's no incentive for them to stop getting that cheap, easy fuel from under the sea and all that. They're still going to use oil because it's good for money. And like there's not really an they don't get a lot of money back to.
There's way more
system.
money in like an ongoing treatment as opposed to a cure, for example. So that could be bad
Do you know about
incentives.
what's going on right now in Canada with the Wet'suwet'en? I think I might be saying it wrong. The Wet'suwet'en, tribe of native people. Okay, well there is a little. It is an independent territory. It has never ceded control to Canada. Canada does not rule it, but some fucking oil company wants to put a like toxic oil pipeline directly through their territory to make money. They do not have the right to do this legally, and yet like the Wet'suwet'en people like made like truck blockades to like block the company because the company just went in to try to do it anyway. The people there like fought back. They set up blockades to like prevent them from doing it. And Canada responded. They sent the Royal Mounted Canadian Police, or the RMCP or whatever. They sent the cops in to like fucking use lethal force to just fucking genocide these people, just like kick their fucking asses and be like, no, it doesn't matter that we're just gonna. No, they can just do it now. I know they're not allowed to, but we want them to. So they're just going to do it.
Is there more to this story than just being?
Well, there's been a huge backlash against it, like on the internet.
Was this recent? Was this a recent thing?
Yeah, this was like last week.
Okay. Look, based on the facts provided, look, I agree. I would like oppose that with whatever levers of power I have because that sounds bad as described. So, I mean, sure. I'm with you.
This is a particularly bold and barefaced example of like the ruling class and the government and the big corporations, the interests of capital, just nakedly fucking over people.
I haven't talked about much. I'm still utilitarian, and I don't think I'm not an anarcho-capitalist, despite the memes. I don't think people should just do anything. There has to be some checks, but I'm not a scholar. I don't know the specifics. And you know what? I've got a confession to make for these stuff. All the stuff that we've been talking about. I'll tell you, I'm strongly considering voting for Trump, and I'll tell you why. It is because. Exactly as you said, Ben, when it comes to more government control of things versus less, ideologically, I just know super clearly which side I'm on and which I would want to win the day ultimately. I'm not for no government. I'm not for like bad things. I think we would agree on 95% of every single thing we want to have happen. I just don't think that on these the everything seems generally good in America, the localized place where things are right now. And I don't know, like I just haven't been presented with a case that anything that other people would do would make the world a better place, which is my main goal. So
it's fine. It's fine for the middle class, probably. It's fine for the 1%. Yeah, the shrinking.
I know I'm not
middle
in
class,
it. I'm below it.
The shrinking middle class is doing reasonably well for now.
I'm doing all right.
We could use poor people could use healthcare. I think. Also, the minimum wage should be higher because people work in these fucking like slave wages, like Uber jobs, gig economy.
I just don't think that the government incentive system presented is a better solution to make the world a better place overall.
In the absence of any like federal raising of the minimum wage, we've got like increasing wealth inequality, and we've got fucking the GDP rising while like the standard of living drops.
Well, I just haven't been presented with solutions that make me think they'll make the world better.
But I'm just
nice
curious,
platitude,
Nate. Why? Like, what have you heard from Trump that makes you think he would be good to vote for?
I will be completely honest. I don't follow politics substantially at all.
Oh, here it is again. Here's this shit.
Look,
again.
like
All
you
right.
said, Ben, we all know our core ideology. I'm for smaller government. I know which
Why
side
do you
that
think
is.
Trump is for small government?
I don't
There you
think
go.
Trump is for
The guy just
government.
fucking completely overreaches
What are
his
my options?
presidential
Vote
power.
libertarian
He's
that'll
basically-
lose?
Trump is basically an authoritarian. He'll just do whatever he
They're
wants.
all
He doesn't care
authoritarian.
about this. Well, I mean, some more than others.
Anyway,
I don't think Bernie's an authoritarian. Bernie's pro-labor.
Bernie is considered
I feel like if
one
you-
of the more libertarian candidates.
I feel like if you have not like gone into any depth to see what the policies are, you shouldn't vote.
I agree.
Well, I agree.
Like,
I would not cast a vote today because I don't have enough information.
If you research what Trump is saying on whoever the Democratic Party is, and you say, well, you know what, I do still prefer Trump, then that's fine. But like the fact that you don't even follow it in any way, and you just assume that Trump is your guy.
For what it's worth, there's not much reason to even think about it yet. Because as much fun as we all are getting hyped in these primaries, like speaking for me personally, I've literally never watched any primary debates or anything until this election. And it's only because I'm with May, who gives a fuck. I would not.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the primaries until the last election. I did not know that was a thing. That they didn't just select their guy.
I also was only vaguely aware of the
so like all of this is just like because Twitter now is politics Valhalla, which I'm fine with because it's hilarious. Now that I follow nothing but like what I'm gonna call woke, but not what you're thinking when you think woke accounts, it's been great. I follow like Moon Cult and
I saw that guy.
Don't know
guys
him.
like Michael Tracy. I don't actually follow him. He tweets too much. But like just there are certain people on Twitter who I not that I trust them as in I think everything they say is true, but I trust them to be politics I want to follow, essentially.
Everybody's got an agenda. Nobody's perfect. What are we supposed to look? I'm not going to cast a vote.
So just vote Trump. Simple.
Life's going pretty good. Yeah. Seems fine.
Horrible, absolutely nightmare. Let me say one last thing about.
Voicemails now?
I want to say one last thing. Hey,
Sure.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, now we can.
Okay. One last thing about Bloomberg is that oh fuck, was it? Oh yeah,
He's actually giant balloon.
Bloomberg is a great dipstick, if you know what I mean, for for liberals, right? Because a lot of people really hate Trump. A lot of people can't stand Trump, but a lot of those same people are fine with Bloomberg, even though he's just as much of an authoritarian, just as much of a racist, misogynist douchebag, just as much of a piece of shit as Trump is. And the reason
it's not
why
likability voting.
is because they don't have to see it. With Bloomberg acts presidential. He like puts up a nice front. He's polite on Twitter. Right? Comparatively. And a lot of shit libs are like, oh, thank God, a return to normalcy. They don't care about what he's actually going to do. They don't care about any material consequences. They're just Trump is ugly. Trump is offensive. I don't like seeing him as long as I don't have to see him. If Bloomberg, I won't have to think about it as much because I won't hear as much about it. Thank God. And it's a very sad state of affairs that we live in.
Terrible.
And everyone that supports Bloomberg should be put on a blacklist.
And let me be clear. Anybody in the comments is going to be like, oh my God, Nate's going to vote Trump. Shut the fuck up. I'm not voting for anyone. I'll tell you, if I had to vote today, I would blindly vote for the Libertarian candidate. That's what I would do today.
Oh, you should vote for Vermin Supreme.
Who's that guy? I forget. Oh, is that the guy with
he's
the bucket?
Guy who wears the boot. He's the presidential
Just vote
guy.
for
yeah.
McAfee.
Who wears the boot on his
Let's
head.
get him up to 1%.
For the giant rat party.
I followed Vermin Supreme on Twitter the other day, but then I had to immediately unfollow him. Yeah, because he tweets too much. Like he was retweeting something every 5 minutes.
Nothing worse than somebody you follow because they're cool, but then they just tweet too much bullshit and they water it down.
Yeah,
it's the worst. All right, well let's go to voicemails. Let's fucking do it. I got them all right here. I test this beforehand, so hopefully they work as they sometimes do. And you, ladies and gentlemen, can leave your voicemail at the SpeakPipe link down below. All right, what do we got first? Oh, I'm very excited for this one. This is my favorite voicemail of the week.
How many we got today?
There's like 5. There's like only 5.
Okay.
So first one is simply titled "Fuck You, Munchie."
This better be about dads?
Munchie, you're a real son of a bitch. You know that? You know that? You piece of fucking garbage. You used to be one of my favorite members. But this last episode, every episode that you've been on recently has just been garbage. Somebody says something, you're like, dude, that's stupid. You do that. You do what I just did. You're a son of a bitch. You're a snake in the grass rat bastard. And you'll never fucking hear this because you're not going to be on the podcast. I'm all about the self-improvement. But you're like, I'm so fucking intelligent.
Okay. Damn. I wish Munchie were here to defend himself.
If only he was here. But I guess we'll have to take his word for it.
He's too busy stealing dads.
It was like an actually scathing criticism, kind of, but it was embedded in such a funny sounding voicemail. I just enjoyed it.
I hope he hears that and gets offended enough to come on next episode and respond.
Me too. We can only pray. All right, what do we got? Next one, we've got professional podcast procrastinator. Okay, take it away. I think this one was kind of quiet, so turn up your volume. All right, go.
So, I'm about 10 episodes beyond the Crastinators podcast. Just finished watching Pokemon Sucks. Now, if I were to watch the rest of the PCP episodes right now, how much of that spicy YouTube bread money would be going to our Ripple overlords instead of you guys?
All of it.
That's it. Yeah, right now, all of it. So,
well,
for people in this guy's position,
channel.
As of the recording of yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's still in the hands of Brad Garlinghouse. We don't have it back yet. Hopefully this statement
hopefully this week.
Hopefully this statement will be incorrect. And we're back
when
on.
you hear it.
We can only hope.
If this episode or whatever, if you're listening to a new episode past like 195 on the PCP, then you're good. If not, I mean, it's fine. That person will get the ad revenue on their channel, I guess, which is also fine. Okay, that's it. So there you go. Don't watch other stuff on our channel until it's back. Fuck them. All right, next one we've got. Oh, I think this had a longer title, but I just called it Proof. It's proof of something, but I can't remember what. Let's find out. Go.
Hello, PCP. I hope you know I have your grapefruit held hostage. And if you ever want to see it again, unharmed and unsweetened, then you will deliver 1,000 pounds of bread and 1,000 pounds of garlic to the Washington Monument 3 hours after listening to this. Or your beloved grapefruit won't be unsweetened for long.
There, click the link. There's a link I posted in the gross disgusting audio links to a DeviantArt image that this man uploaded.
It's cute.
Quandary poser, I guess.
Oh, at least he's using 0-calorie sweetener.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. That's good to say. And did you know so he's got a spoon up to a grapefruit. He's going to eat it with a spoon with sweetener. Oh God. I noticed that his first thing says 1,000 loaves of bread, which is different from pounds. That's probably less.
We should
than
probably
a pound.
play it safe and go for pounds, because I'm pretty sure a loaf of bread is less than a pound.
Also, the plural is loaves with a
true.
V. You
That's true.
idiot.
That's true.
How's he
This guy's a
gonna
hack.
work on that?
How's he expecting to feed that grapefruit the sweetener when he taped his mouth shut?
I think he's gonna have to cut it open. He's gonna have
That's
to
what they do.
surgery it.
Oh, no.
Slice it in
Sprinkle
half.
it.
Is he gonna joker the grapefruit?
He's gonna be bifurcated. Yeah.
Well,
Look at
we'll
that
see what
poor-
happens. Good
poor
luck to us.
disenfranchised grapefruit.
He never had a chance.
I really like his face.
Let me see. We've got there's actually pretty good art on there. This is not bad. All right, we've got a completely unfunny voicemail from a concerned citizen. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
What else is
go.
new?
Hey PCP, it's me, one of your brainless fucking fans. I just wanted to call and ask about like the Radcon 4 fan meetup thing that you guys were talking about like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
You gonna like set a date for that? Because like if I'm gonna buy a plane ticket to go like halfway across the continent, to go fucking look at you and then murder you. I mean, you know. If I'm going to do that, I kind of need to like buy a plane ticket in advance, and it's like gets more expensive the closer to the date
Yes.
you are.
Damn.
So like, could I know when that happens?
That's a great point.
Thanks. Bye.
It is.
That's a great
point.
question.
All right. So first of all, the Radcon, we will be at the place doing Radcon stuff from the 6th to the 16th. So
it's in that window.
So if you buy a plane ticket to be where were we thinking of meeting at? Like somewhere on Virginia Beach Boulevard.
We're in that town, so
we should probably do it like on a Saturday somewhere in that stretch.
Oh wait, no, we had a thing on a calendar that we were thinking of a possible meetup date near the end.
God damn it, where'd I put that? Yeah, okay, because let me see, March 6th to 16th. Okay, 16th is a Monday. Okay, so that like Saturday and Sunday. So Munchie's leaving Sunday night. So maybe Saturday or Sunday at the end of the con.
So
at the
15th.
At the end.
So like we have all our stuff done and we can just kind of hang out and
14th.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Maybe should we commit to the 14th Saturday sometime during that day?
I think
we could do it Sunday too. We could do it the next day.
I think Saturday is a better idea. And I think, I do think we could do it on this. There's 2 Saturdays, the 7th and the 14th.
What do you think?
But
I just don't know.
7th doesn't seem. Yeah, I think we should do it on the 14th.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, there's 4 of us here. Digi is muted for some reason, but I'll assume he agrees. Right, so the 14th, Saturday, March 14th. All right, we're committing. That'll be the day when we have a meetup, and we are gonna do one.
We should make an announcement outside of this episode so that it comes out.
I will make an update on the Kickstarter confirming that, and I'll let, I don't know, Tom and Munchie know that we're going to do that. I guess
it's not as critical that we pick a place, as long as we know that it's going to be in Virginia Beach, but...
We can commit to that Saturday, March 14th, in the area of Virginia Beach somewhere on that day. If you want to come and do your stuff, that's on you. That's not for us. That's not our problem.
We will keep you got to figure it out here and on Twitter at TP Crastinators. Right, it's at TP Crastinators.
That's right, on Twitter.
About where exactly and when and what the times are. But
there you go.
That'll be the day.
Okay. Well, let's.
Okay, all
right, yeah. So we'll update. I'll update the Kickstarter with that information too. So that's in stone somewhere. But okay, we got one more voicemail, and this one is from Boyan. Let's hear Boyan Finale, as I'm sure it's called. Go.
Guys, for the special occasion of episode 200, could you please consider returning written questions? Some of us would really appreciate that. And maybe, question mark, live questions?
Live question? Like doing the PCP live?
Episode 200 is going to be the streamed live at RadCon, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we 100% settled on that because we'd have to do the 201 and like 202 episodes.
Yeah, we said we were just going to skip 200.
Okay, if you want, all right, that's fine. I don't care. That sounds funny. It sounds amusing.
Okay, we will probably do. I think. Okay, let's do like live questions via super chat, which are
during the we'll have like a ending section.
That's what we did last time, right?
We're gonna have
I think he was thinking that we wouldn't do it
all the time anyway. So.
That's true. It'll be basically like a live stream, but we'll love probably Victor's camera set up like we did last time and do it all
that was
nice
so
and fancy
strange.
And stuff.
I remember watching that and the way he zooms in right on our faces, like, oh god, it's too
great.
Close. It's too close.
It was very close. You could give him notes if you like to be less close. Good memes though. Good memes from that. So, okay, since we're doing things like out of order that way, and we'll do 200 at RadCon, yes, you will, in fact, get a chance to say things to us. Although, I guess on the larger point, I mean, as for bringing back written questions on, like, Twitter and stuff, I don't know, bro. Not really feeling it. Yeah. Seems like a lot of work, and I don't care.
Well, it's not a lot of work. It's just, I don't care.
Well, yeah, I'd have to go somewhere
questions
else
are
tweet about it.
In fact, it's because it's less work that the quality of the questions is usually so much worse.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. The skill floor for asking a SpeakPipe question is higher, and I think it self-selects for quality to a certain extent.
And I'm just reading minds here, but I don't know if this guy's maybe thinking that because like he's got a thick accent, or it makes it harder to like. I mean, I'm sure whoever you are, you could make a good voicemail.
If you really needed to, you could do like a text-to-speech robot voice to say the thing.
That's true. Maybe he just doesn't want to put in the work, which I get.
Look, guys, this guy can clearly speak English. I don't think that's the issue.
Well, if he was wondering,
I don't know what he meant.
I mean, if there are any other people who are like have struggling with English or like have a thick accent, they feel like they wouldn't get understood. They can use a robot.
I think legitimately have that concern. I think when they call in. I don't know, but we're doing what we're doing. Use text to speech. I mean, you can figure it out. Just be creative here. That's it. That's our last voicemail for the day. So again, if you want to leave one, that is the SpeakPipe link down below. Click on that and leave us a voicemail. There you go. Let me see. We got a bonus episode coming up soon. It'll be the bonus episode before RadCon, just like a couple of days before, and that'll be whatever on the 1st of March. And you can get that by pledging $5 to the Kickstarter at patreon.com/theprocrastinators. $5 bonus episodes. $1 you're in the bonus lounge or the normal talky Discord lounge with all of us hanging out. Good times. And pledge as much as you want. Do $1,000. Why not? I beseech you. And you know what? And it'll be funny to see. There will be a PCP episode that comes out like at 2 p.m. normally, and we get into our Airbnb at RadCon 4 at 4 p.m. So like that episode will probably like just be wrapping as we get to the house, and we'll probably set up a live stream real fast. So on that day, on March 6th, you'll see a bunch of stuff coming that evening, I'm sure. Right, and also follow us again for more info and updates at TP Crastinators on Twitter. Updates about more stuff about the live meetup, probably. Maybe we'll iron that out fully on the Kickstarter. If not, TP Crastinators, follow us there for more info. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Anything else? And we'll let you know on there when we get the channel back as well. That'll be.
Go check out The Lord of Ghosts Chapter 3 out on.
Yes, I have not read it yet. I'm very excited to check it, to scope it, to peep it, to Scopio-peepio it.
Yeah.
Hey, go read chapters 1 through 4 of The Road to Radcon 4. Chapter 5 coming soon. That's right. Chapter 5 will be out very soon.
Pledge to my Patreon to get early access to the pre-finale Slime and Punishment updates. Coming out now. Patreon.com/Ben Saint. Don't wear it out.
My channel will have videos again soon.
If we don't get this channel, if we don't get the PCP back, I assume we'll stream the Radcon countdown to the end of the Kickstarter on your channel, maybe.
We could do it on Twitch or something. I don't really want to do it on my main channel. I guess we could. I don't know.
Because it's closer to the Radcon viewer base, I guess.
That's true.
People who would know the PCP would know your channel more than they would know your Twitch, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely true. Plus, there'd be way more viewers.
I think
being on that platform.
I would be in favor of that if you'd be okay with it.
Okay, we'll tell you what. I'm not super opposed. We'll iron that out, and we will let people know where it's going to be. Yeah. Okay. We'll.
Well, it will have already happened.
Oh yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, that's
totally
good
inside
point.
baseball right now.
Lol, you will have seen it, and oh, won't that be exciting for you? All right. Anyway, we're out of here. Thanks for funding Kickstarters, Road to Radcon 4, Radcon 4 Paradise, everybody. We're gonna make all that good shit. It's gonna be good. You're gonna enjoy it. I promise you. Thank you, everybody, for supporting.
$20,294. $20,349 right now.
My God,
just updated.
It just keeps going. It just keeps happening. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you so
hopefully
much.
we hit that 222 goal.
Radcon 4 is gonna be sick as fuck. Yes, the 222 goal. Will we have hit it by now? I am optimistic, but we'll see.
As am I. All right, we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.
Peace out, losers.